too long. If the grass isn't greener, come back and check I'm still breathing. When heaven takes you home and you're untouchable, tell them how you backflip through tragic. Show them how the struggle make magic.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the show. All right, we got to do our pre-roll here up front, so I'm going to press that here in just a few seconds. Yes, there he is, the third best content creator. That's me. What's going on? Welcome in to the EU. Appreciate you guys all being here. We're going to press our pre-roll here in just a moment. So if you haven't gotten subbed to the channel, go ahead and do that. And we'll hit our break here in about 20 seconds. So do it. Yes, I'm back up to number 3. Moving on up. Oh, it's funny. Hey, Nigel, what's going on? Number 3, when did Lube pass up DJ? I guess it was last week. Not entirely sure. What's going on, Valin King? How are you? Appreciate that. Yes, Steven. We're on Twitch as well. We simulcast everywhere, my brother. All right. I got to hit the pre-roll. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it.
There's so much that I want to say, but I got to hold it back. So scared how you react. I just hide it all away. I could give you it all. In a minute could fall. Any minute the we go round and round. I don't want to mention commitment, but I feel it slipping. So please don't let me down. I got the words I love you sitting on the tip of my tongue. Oh, I feel like as soon as they leave my mouth, you're just gonna get up and run. You're gonna run away. You know we connect more than just a sex, but are you gonna let me in? I could set your world on fire, but you're holding the lighter. Instead you're putting out a flame. I could give you it all. In a minute could fall. Any minute the we go round and round. I don't wanna mention commitment, but I feel it slipping. So please don't let me down. I got the words I love you sitting on the tip of my tongue. Oh, I feel like as soon as they leave my mouth,
Show. My name is UltimatDJz. This is Talking Tech Live. What's going on? I know. What is this crazy sorcery that we are here on early on a Sunday? Oh my God, a wild pod appeared. Yes, and at an EU-friendly time as well. Good afternoon, everybody. Appreciate you guys all being here. What's going on? My name is UltimatDJz, and this is Talking Trek. Let me hit you up with a Talking Trek server sound off in the chat, and we're going to get to that. We're going to find out where you're hailing from, what server you are calling in from, and maybe what platform you're on, whether it be Twitch or Discord or YouTube. And we're going to check on all of that here in just a few moments. Thank you, guys. Let's head it up with the, you know what? It's funny, Tarpy, fewer and fewer people are using Discord anymore. All right, they're all on the video platforms now. It's kind of crazy. Let's see. We've got Putz hanging out over there, but he's just passing jabs at me. Spectre is on server 11. Mosher on 181. What's going on? Guru on 58. Mid Strangler on server 9. Fire Force on 26. Major Pothead on server 67. Kid Shadow on 74. Tycon on 33. Commander Soto on 167. Strider on 70. Jules Verne on 44. Let's check on over on the YouTube chat. There isn't anybody. I didn't skip yours, Tarpy. Wait, where was it? Oh, server 70. I see it now. I see it. Penfold on 137, Sin of the Dark on 63. Let's see, there's a bunch of them on Twitch. Let's check that out on Twitch. Dave Hart on 74, Stradalorian on 9, Beat for the Streets on server 17. Thank you. Kana Deja 187, Mosher on 181, Gopher on 130, Lost In on 45, now post-merge, Bahalan King on 118, Dayspros on 32, Kevin on 163, Wood Cannon on 35, Roadrunner on 159, Pedro on 153, Quake on 106 and 158, ooh, show off, Shadow Sheep on 133, Floyd on 21, Rod XL on server 20, Striker on 49, Andalisha on 701, Norwich on 35, Silver Tab on 40, 7 of 7 on 137, Ashley K on server 20, George on 56, and there are so many more. As a matter of fact, there's over 100 additional messages here, and I appreciate all of you guys. That's absolutely incredible. We've got, let's see, it looks like, Tarpy, we've got approximately 46.
He's trying to math.
Just shy of 200 people in the live studio audience. Appreciate that. Rev is streaming over on the YouTubes. Yeah, shout out Rev. He's over on the YouTube. So yeah, but I wanted to do something early today. Because Jules Verne has a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Jules Verne is here to celebrate with us today. Yeah. Jules Verne has to be quiet because
not yet.
Because baby Jules is sleeping. Are you on? So you're right now. She's down to nap though, right?
Yeah. So we're good for a little bit.
We're good for a little bit. As a matter of fact, as soon as the show starts, then baby Jules is going to wake up. But we do have some stuff to teach you about today. There's no sound in Discord. Yeah, there is. I can see it. You guys got sound in Discord, Tarpy? Yeah, it's working because Jules just talked to me.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, everything's great.
How are we talking with you?
Yeah, everything's fine. So yeah, you're good over there, Isaac. Maybe just turn it off and turn it back on again. Classic call your IT guy kind of thing. General Ark says, you're back. I had money on the boat sinking. Dude, I've been back for like 2.5 weeks. I've been back here for a minute. Hey, what's going on, JM on 74? How are you? Thank you. Cookie Monster says, what are you doing here? Doing an early show for our EU audience, and we've got stuff to teach you about today, so we're going to do some of that. And we've got, as a matter of fact, Jules wrote this whole big thing. He actually got a little bit miffed at me because I didn't put a 3,000 character show teaser out there.
Oh, no. I gave you a very short show teaser.
Oh, you did? Where was the short one? I don't even see the short one.
Top.
What?
Your AAA, all about artifact service. Then community roundtable and Q&A on G5 progression. Where are your pinch points? That is short. That is sweet.
Okay, but that
That
was
is
in the
written
same
just
post.
in your wordage.
Yeah, see, that was the same post, and I was just looking at segment 1, segment 2, segment 3,
You need a
commercial break,
personalized
segment
invitation.
4, commercial break, segment 5, skippable. Honestly, I mean, this is what he's writing. he wrote
And
an
the parts that
entire
you put in there were
itinerary.
all the ones that I was going to skip. So
Oh.
we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it.
Yeah. I
Well,
think you need a
obviously,
personalized invitation
obviously,
for
I
exactly what. Yeah.
picked out the
I have to
exact
say
right
that-
things.
I have to say that in the 3 years I have been on the show, that is the most comprehensive show description and list of segments I've ever seen. So,
Oh yeah, he's been writing these for me here for the last couple of shows, which is absolutely incredible. I love it. And then I butchered it. I messed it all up. But we do have some stuff. Thank you, Combat says your weight loss is starting to show. Looking good, sir. Ooh, thank you. I am I'm up 2 pounds from this past week, but I think it's because I can't doo-doo. I haven't. I mean, if you really want to get gross about it, Tarpy, I haven't.
We don't.
I haven't.
No. Not no.
All right, fine.
No.
No.
It's been like a whole week.
Glad your diet's going well.
It's been a week. Okay.
Drink more water.
I know.
Drink water.
Okay.
Not Coke Zero, water.
You know what? You're absolutely right. I went onto Amazon this morning. and I bought a 1 gallon water jug that has the times written on it, so I know how much I have to drink throughout the day.
So when you get it, just make sure the times are in the right order, because my brother got one of those.
What?
And the times are in the wrong order.
No way! I
It's
didn't
really
even look.
funny. Yeah.
Hold on, I didn't even look. They're supposed to be in reverse order, though, right? Like the thing is filled up.
Yeah, no, I get that, but it's literally the numbers are in the wrong order.
Oh, that is some,
They put
that is some Temu stuff right there. Okay, like that
Yeah.
is some Temu quality stuff. I got mine from Amazon, and it has the times all throughout. So it's a one. First of all, am I supposed to be drinking a gallon of water a day? I thought it was a half gallon I was supposed to drink.
no,
This is a
talk to
whole
your
gallon.
medical professionals, but there's some calculations for how much water you're supposed to drink based on your body mass.
Well, actually, according to my body mass, I'm supposed to drink almost 2 gallons. But I thought that's ridiculous. So yeah, this is a 1 gallon jug. It's 128 ounces, and it is labeled. It starts at 7 a.m. And I mean, at least according to the picture, Tarpy. Okay, according to the picture, the numbers are in the right spot. Okay, starts at 7
Okay, that's
a.m.
good.
and then progresses down to 9 p.m. So I figured what I'm going to do is before I leave in the morning, I'll fill it with ice. That way it'll stay nice and cool for me. And then when I get to work, I'll fill it with water. But then by the end of the day, the ice will have melted and I'll be able to drink the whole thing. Right? Isn't that how we should do it? So it's
Sure.
1 gallon. So I'm supposed to drink 2 liters per day. How much is 1 gallon compared to liters? Because I don't do math like the rest of you in the world.
2 liters. 2 liters is just shy of half a gallon.
Oh, smack! So I'm supposed to drink only 2 liters. I mean, I'm still
No,
I'm still
no.
300 pounds, yo. All right, I'm still 300
No.
pounds.
The 1 gallon of water also includes all of the water that you intake in your food. Food has water in it. Normally, you're taking about half of your water intake a day in your food, so you really only probably need a half a gallon of water.
Well, I am going to try to drink a gallon, and if I drink a gallon, I'll probably, if I shoot for the moon, if I shoot for the stars, I'll land on the moon. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to try to drink a gallon, and we'll just see. Drink regularly throughout the
So,
day. That's what I'm going to
Rex-
try to do. Every 2 hours, I'm going to drink some of this stuff. All right, but
So-
I'm not starting until tomorrow, Tarpy.
Yeah. I just want to point out something to Rex, because this is a huge thing for chemists. There is a huge difference between clear and colorless. You can be clear, or your pee can be clear without it being colorless. If your pee is colorless, then you have a problem. You've drank too much water. If your pee is not clear, you have other problems.
I'm very confused. What is clear versus colorless? Like if I go to the bathroom
So
and it
colorless,
looks like
color,
water, I'm like, okay, I've got enough water in my body.
so clear and colorless are two different measurements. So think about like cranberry juice. That is clear, but it is red, right? Or it's like a pinkish red. Um,
Oh,
so
I
then if it is
see.
colorless, it means that it has no color, which means that it's the equivalent of white, right? So um, it bounces all of the colors back at you is the technical idea about that. But like the it's clear versus not clear and colorful versus colorless. So it can be clear and not colored. So it's just two very different things.
Right.
Like an American
Thinking-
beer versus a German Hefeweizen.
There you go. I was going to say,
I was going to say,
Wow.
yes, to answer your question, Dr. Juby, yes, Tarpey is apparently a pee expert. All right. Yes. Thank you for the question in
How
chat.
does that? Oh, Jesus, why does my science always come in when we talk about people's pee? It's Griffin and his freaking
Yes,
prime
Quake.
drink, and then this.
I
and,
get it.
ugh.
Pothead says I am way too high for this. Angry Lou says this convo is not clear. I get it. Guru says, all right, I'm going to try here. Milk is colorless, but not clear. See, I don't know.
Correct.
What?
Yes, that is correct.
You know, all right. You
Yeah.
know what is clear, but and colorless? You know what's clear and colorless? Besides water, is the amazing goodness
no.
that is Welch's Great Ghost Energy. All right. Which is what I am going to have today. All right. Yeah, see, I'm going to start doing the water. Actually, I ordered the thing on Amazon. It's not going to be here until Tuesday. So that means I still have today and tomorrow to enjoy my Welch's Grape Ghost Energy, thanks to our lucrative advertising deal because of Griffin. Thank you very much.
Okay, I want a case of this stuff. Send it on over.
Okay. Now listen.
you really
Listen.
don't want a case of it. No.
No, you do want a case of it.
I want a
And here's
case
what-
of it to
here's-
do a
here's-
bunch of science on it.
All right.
See
First
how
of
much
all,
they're lying on the label.
you know what? That would be great. Listen, before we listen, Jules describes this as DJ's time. He knows that this is going to happen every single show. If you want to purchase Welch's Great Ghost Energy, and you want to order it by the case, then I am going to ask you to do !Amazon in our Twitch chat or /Amazon over in the Discord chat, because if you use our Amazon link and then buy, and by the way, it's available on Subscribe and Save. As a matter of fact, I didn't realize how many flavors there were. There's a lot of flavors. And I today ordered a case, Tarpey. I ordered a variety case so that I can try a bunch of different flavors. All right. As a matter of fact, Griffin was just telling us how peach just came out. It's a brand new one. And I also ordered Strawbango. Okay.
What?
Strawbango.
That is a
Strawbango.
horrible name.
No, it's a great name.
That's
Strawbango.
horrible.
Strawbango. It's like strawberry and mango. Listen, here's what we've got. We've got in this variety pack, we've got Welch's Grape, America, cherry limeade, citrus, phase up, orange cream, Sour Patch Blue Raspberry, yes please, Sour Patch Red Berry, Swedish Fish, Sour Pink Lemonade, Tropical Mango, and Warhead's Sour Apple. Oh, there's also Warhead Sour Watermelon. I ordered all of them. So we're gonna
Oh my gosh.
yes, I ordered all of them.
That
And
sounds disgusting.
you can do it now as well. Thank you, Commander Monty, for using the command. If you click on that link, that will take you to a sponsored link. And joking aside, no, Welch's Grape Ghost Energy does not actually pay us. It doesn't pay me. I'm pretty sure that Griffin has something going on there. But you know who does is Amazon. Amazon does indeed pay us. And They do. And if you use that link, the short code link, either in Discord /Amazon or here in Twitch, !Amazon, if you click that, that is basically a referral link. Anything that you buy on Amazon, all right, whether it be dog food or groceries or laundry detergent or toilet paper, anything that you buy on Amazon supports our show. So I haven't talked about this in a while, and that's shame on me. As a matter of fact, I did a lot of work this morning for the sponsors of this show. And you're going to hear it a little bit later in the show. I made new commercials. I've revised the links. I've done all kinds of stuff. So please do pay attention to our Amazon sponsor link. Listen, Amazon's not going to be missing the business, but it does help us. Everything you buy on Amazon will come back and pay us a commission, which is amazing. So I'd really appreciate you guys doing that. You don't have to do anything other than click the link. All right, before you go and buy something off Amazon, don't type Amazon.com. Click on our link. Go to TalkingTrekSTFC.com and then click the Amazon button, and you'll get to go and order stuff. And you can save up to 15% more on Subscribe and Save, like I did on a variety case of Welch's Grape Ghost Energy.
Well, if that's true, then I like to tell you what I'm drinking currently, which is Celsius Play a Vibe. It has 0 sugar, 200 milligrams of caffeine, the same as your Ghost Grape Energy drink, and none of the marketing to children. So
wait.
you like Play a Vibe.
The last time I drank one of those, I put vodka in it.
Like a normal adult.
Play a Vibe.
Man. Those are good.
Play a Vibe. I'll have to check out one of those too. As a matter of fact, last night on Studio B, I drank some sparkling ice, which I also very much enjoy. And that is also a sugar-free water supplement. So coming back to the liquid that I have to drink, because this is clear and colorless, does this count as water?
No. But yeah, according to Putz's definition, yes.
Yeah.
So like it counts as part of the liquid that you're taking in. And yes, Coke Zero does too. But it's not colorless, but it is clear. Just a thing that Strider and I do is we fill our coffee mugs with water in the morning before we go to drink coffee. So we have to drink a glass of water before we even get anywhere near our coffee. It actually
that wouldn't
helps
work for me because I don't drink coffee.
Well, then pretend.
Dude, last night I had Welch's Grape Ghost Energy before Studio B. All right. I am not usually a believer in energy drinks. Okay? I'm not. But last night I did 4 hours on Studio B. I did not hit the commercial button one time, Tarpy. I was on camera all 4 hours. I never sat down.
Dang.
I never sat down. I never turned on the commercial screensaver. I was going for 4 hours. It was great. It was great. I had energy for days. And it allowed me to get in a great workout for Cardio Quest. As a matter of fact, I did tell Spock that we were going to check in with that today. I did an amazing workout last night in Studio B. I got 4 hours in where my average heart rate here, where can we actually see this? Here, before I get too deep, while we're talking about the health things that we're doing, community, let me just tell you, here it is, history. Under Cardio Quest, let's see, is this mine? Yeah, look at this, 3 hours and 58 minutes. I bounced around like a jumble, just a happy, full of energy, fun-loving baby boy, okay? And it was 3 hours and 58 minutes where my average heart rate was 121. How did I do in my fitness game after that, Guru? I'm going to tell you, I got 43 trophies. Look at all this stuff. I got so much loot last night. I got so much loot. And it was absolutely incredible. By the way, Cha-Cha, if you are missing Studio B, you know that you can catch the makeups. Over on Patreon, we post the audio and the video playback. So if you just want the audio playback, then you could get that. Like, you could listen in your car. It's a great track set. We did a great playlist last night. And it's available over on Patreon for less than the price of a battle pass. You can get access to all of the replays from Studio B, like all of them from all time. All right, so they're all on there. Last night it was a banger last night. $15 will get you the audio version. $19 will get you the video version. And that is a subscription level on Patreon. You still keep all of the same gold benefits here in our Discord chat. You just get access to additional content. So if you are missing Studio B and it's something you guys want to go check it out, then absolutely visit our website at talkingtrekstfc.com and click on the Patreon button. Yes, Chef, official Scopely STFC page and 20 minutes on my diet. I am not unorganized. Anyway, about soccer. I'm just kidding. I am wildly disorganized, but we always have a little bit of we always have a little bit of community time right up front. We do have stuff to teach you about, Chef. As a matter of fact, I saw on YouTube the other day, someone did the same thing. Hey, listen, if you're wanting to get to the game content, it starts at whatever it was, 42 minutes or something like that. And that's fine. That's probably something we should do because while we are the official STFC podcast, we're also a community and we like to hang out and have a little bit of fun and that's how we get to know each other and so forth. So I am going to teach you about some stuff today, but we always like to do a little bit in the very beginning, just a little bit of kind of fun and fluff and stuff like that. So and I did a little bit of promotion today. All right, I promoted our clients, Amazon and Welch's Grape Ghost Energy and all the things. All right. And Cardio Quest, which, by the way, I did something cool, Tarpy. You want to see this? If you want to take a look at this, I have now created a comparative banner over here on the right-hand side of your screen. This is because Cardio Quest is now sponsoring the stream on a monthly basis, which is incredible. Thank you. Yes, they are paying to sponsor the channel, which is very, very cool. So thank you guys so very much. And by the way, we have a guild over there. All right. So if you want to come over, Chef, you want to get healthy? Download the game and join DJ's Cat Pack. All right. We're down a few members. Because some people downloaded and then didn't come back in. But some people have been doing really, really good. Hey, Seth, where are you? Seth hasn't logged in since the cruise. Where are you at, Seth? Where you at,
I mean,
Seth?
if he's anything like us, he's been down for the count with various cruise cred.
For 3 weeks?
I don't know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, see, cruise cred. It's 2 weeks, and yeah, I just started feeling better yesterday.
You're still down with cruise crud? Holy smokes.
Me? Yeah, him? Clearly, yeah.
That's a shame.
His lungs are destroyed.
Oh, no. I hate that. That's probably why your arms are so small.
Rude.
Carissa says, I wasn't able to get the game to work with my devices. We should probably help you out with that. I've gotten mine to work with my Apple, and it's also working with Google and all that stuff. So anyway, Chef, I don't mean to stay off of topic, but I do want to take a couple of minutes and thank our show sponsors, including Cardio Quest. And I just wanted to point this out right here on the right-hand side of your screen. So look at this, Tarpy. Last week, we did more adventures. I think that was because all of us were starting out, because the early adventures, they take a lot less XP to get through. So we're down in adventures this week, but we're actually almost up in total time. We're actually tracking very even on total time, which means our alliance, the 19 people in our guild, have worked out a total of 40 hours. Isn't that wild? 40 hours, 39 hours. Congratulations, guys. That's big. That's good. That means out of the 20 people we've got, you guys have averaged 2 hours each of workout time this week. And your workouts are longer than they were last week. That means we're getting healthier. Last week, the workout average time was 27 minutes, Tarpy. This week, it's 35 minutes. I'm proud of you guys. We've got extra 500 calories that we have burned this week. And we've done 20,000 extra steps. And look at the mileage there, Tarpy. We are up 13 miles in our total distance traveled this week. Congratulations to DJ's Cat Pack. You have done an amazing job this week. Very proud of you. Very proud of you. Pyramir, thank you. Stradalorian is throwing poop at me. Appreciate that very much. Pyramir, thank you for the resub. Let me do a couple of thank yous on the resubs real quick, and then we're going to dive in. See, look, Jules, very quick on the DJ's time today. All right. Iron Chef, thank you for the 35-month resub. Pyramir on 21 months. Fire Force 24. Con Solo Parker, 12-month. Happy birthday. Commander Monty, 27 months on the resub. Thank you. Captain Palmer, 30 months on the resub. M. La 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 La. Thank you for the 15 months on the resub. And Dominus Prime, 35 months at tier 3. Thank you. Cyclone at 11 months. JB, 17 months. Agonor, 17 months. Pedro at 32 months at tier 2. What's going on? And Master Yodi at 28 months. Thank you guys so very, very much. Says, I forgot how to sync at the Fitbit. I'll absolutely help you. I can do that. Candy White says, how do I join the guild? Very easy. Are you in the game?
Yeah. I'm trying to do it right now, and it's not letting me.
Okay, so it's a private guild, so you have to give me your name, and then I'll invite you. All right? So, just Tarpy? Tarpy,
yeah.
Search. Is that you? Guild invite. There you go, Tarpy. Invite. Gotcha. All right, I've got 6 spots. 7 of 7. Give me your name. Just type your name in chat, and then we'll start. Indominus Prime would like one in. That's fine. Indominus Prime. And listen, if you guys come in, the only thing... Oh, I spelled that wrong. The only thing that I ask is you guys stay busy. Because I did have to prune a couple of people.
Like, start moving starting tomorrow.
Start moving. That's right. Look, it's 7 of 7. Already level 8. That's wonderful. Plain, simple Garrick. We'll get you in here. Guild invite. Congratulations. Welcome to you. And I need to go back. I spelled Indominus's name wrong. Let's see. Indominus Prime. There you are. Okay. Anybody else want in real quick? All right. We're just like an STFC alliance. We have expectations. And Alicia. Okay. And Alicia. And there you are. And then I think Candy White. Let me grab yours real quick. What was your name? And that should be our 6. Candy White.
Wait, did you get the person who... Okay, it was Candy White who asked, right?
There you go. Candy White got you in. All right. Congratulations. You guys are in on DJ's Cat Pack. So thank you. Cha-Cha Roar says, I'm on holiday for 2 weeks. Don't boot me. Okay, that's fair. If you go through and you take a look, this is actually really, really cool because we can see all of the members and we can see your workouts. Gopher says, what is this app? This is a gaming fitness app. All right. Dragon Keeper says, seems like too much work for a game. Dude, it's a game. All right.
Have you met STFC?
This is a game. This is what's great about it is that it just takes like our workouts and brings it in and then lets us play our progression based on how active we are. And we can come in here and I can see how many people are active. See, Cha-Cha Roar says, I'm on vacation, but they logged in today. So thank you very much for logging in today, Cha-Cha Roar. And by the way, Cha-Cha is already level 9, so she's using this thing, all right? The game is called Cardio Quest, and crazy enough, you want to hear why I'm so on board with this thing? I'm on board with this thing because a member of our community has created this. Literally, you guys may or may not know him. Spock Monkey of our community. He's been a member of our community for 5 years, and he writes games for a living, all right, which qualifies him in so many ways to be a part of a lot of things that he's not a part of. But anyway, I digress. He is also a video game developer. He wrote this game. All right. And his biggest reason for writing the game, we had him on the show here a couple of weeks ago. The biggest reason for him writing the game was, listen, I'm very passionate. I'm a fitness trainer. I love working out, but I also love gaming. And so I have to constantly balance these worlds. Like I sit on the couch or I sit, to play video games, but I also have to work out, and then I'm tempted by video games. How about I make a video game that rewards me for working out? And that's what this does. It's very, very, very cool. And I invite you guys to check it out. There are some amazing community members in here. He's got a Discord, and Near says STFC is too much work. I've almost given up. This one is a passive game. So, like, when you just do your workouts, you can import your workouts and play the game that way. But there's also some math and science in this game, which I love, because Spock is obviously a member of our community. There's statistics, there's triangle, there's a lot of fun stuff in this game. And it's a great game designed to motivate you to be active, and it certainly has worked for me. I'm trying to remember, I have 310,000 steps logged in this game. I think, is that right? Or is it 31,000? Because I don't log them every day. It might be 31,000. I don't know. I'll have to check with Spock. I don't remember what the conversion ratio is. But I have a ton. And you don't have to have a watch or a Fitbit, Gopher. You can do it with the Google Health app or the Apple Health app. As a matter of fact, right up here, I think it's called what? Health Connect from Google. All right? You can actually do this and use like your actual phone. All right. You don't have to have a watch. You can do it with your phone. Put it in your pocket or whatever. So it's very, very cool. Carissa says, I love the idea. Not being able to be more broadly accessible is the issue, but I know this is like a one-man thing. What do you mean? Yeah, your phone records all that stuff. What do you mean, Carissa? Being more broadly accessible? Listen, it's available on a website. It's available in the Google Store and the Apple Store. It will use literally any type of device, whether it's Fitbit, whether it is Apple Watch. There's Google devices. Garmin integration is coming soon. They work with Strava. They work with Apple and Google. There's a lot of it. All right. So it's
I think
it's
he
very,
just said
very
he
cool.
was importing from Zwift too, which is a different indoor cycling app that I use in the winter. So that's also pretty exciting because that's a VR kind of cycling or running app too. So it's like, if it works with Apple, there's a whole lot of different options for Apple workouts as well. So it's like, those are pretty accessible.
Yeah.
Unless we're thinking different types of accessibility.
Absolutely. Gopher, that's the amazing thing about this. Yes, you can upload your workout because you don't have your phone when you're playing soccer. I don't carry my phone when I'm DJing in Studio B, but I had my watch, so it records my workout. So, Gopher, in your case, if you can upload the workout, if you've got a watch or a Fitbit or a Garmin, or you're integrated with Strava in some way, then that can record your workout, and then, yes, it'll upload later, which is very, very cool. And Delisha asked about the Aura rings. I know that we asked him about that, and that it will be coming soon. Pokemon Go, Captain Planet, I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, but Pokemon Go also connects to Apple Health. So, yes, technically, indirectly, Pokemon Go will also connect to this as well. But that's not, Pokemon Go itself doesn't connect to CardioQuest. It's Pokemon Go reads the same data that CardioQuest can read. All right? So, because Pokemon Go is like this. It has an integration into your health app that pulls the data from your health. Iron Chef says, I just logged in and loaded 61,000 steps for the week. Congratulations to you, man. That is awesome. I did craft an avatar here, and I thought this was really, really great. I've got some avatars unlocked, which I love the avatars. The art in this game is absolutely amazing. Tarpy, I do have one last thing to share with you before we get ready to go, or before we get ready to end up on this segment. But I may or may not have official information that says those of you who are active, engaged, and playing in CardioQuest with us right now, you are going to have the opportunity very, very soon to earn this amazing in-game avatar. Yes, Spock Monkey has gotten me my own avatar.
Okay, that's adorable.
Isn't it amazing?
It's a steampunk. Yeah.
Yes. For those of you in podcast form at 2:21 p.m. Eastern time in the graphics room, you can see my avatar that's going to be loaded into the game here very, very soon. This is in Cardio Quest. And again, super big thanks to Spock Monkey, which is very, very cool. They are an amazing partner. I have very much loved playing this game. And I started out a little bit slow with it, but I am doing more and more with it. I'm actually like learning the mechanics, and I'm actually having fun with this game. And crazy enough, I'm having fun working out, which is insane. Because like that's not fun. I know some people think it's fun, but I don't think it's fun. All right.
Find the right one for you.
I don't think it's fun.
To be
But
completely honest with you, I wasn't going to download this game because of all of the workout stuff that's related. But that avatar, I'm downloading now.
isn't it cool? It's a great avatar. I love that avatar. I have a cat avatar loaded right now. But I absolutely cannot wait until he loads my avatar. He showed me that this past week. He said, "Is that cool?" I'm like, "It's so cool. I love it." How do you get it? I don't know yet. I think it's going to be an event reward. I'm not entirely sure. Dr. Juby, it will not be available for sale. You cannot buy the $9.99 avatar pack. As a matter of fact, you want to know something else? Because he's such an avid member of our community, you know the only monetization in this game is a battle pass. And guess how much that costs, Tarpy? There's one
It's
pack.
not expensive, right?
There's one pack available for sale in this game. It's a battle pass, and it's $5 a month. That's it. No Vaults of
What?
Lat, no avatar packs, no XP this, shards that, ships this. No, it's $5 a month. It unlocks your battle pass for 30 days. That is the only available pack that you can actually buy in this game is $5. It's a no-brainer to me. All right, it's an absolute no-brainer, and I'm having fun. It's motivating me to work out, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. You guys be sure to check out Cardio Quest, and thank you very much to Spock Monkey and our partners at Cardio Quest. Download the game on Google Play and your Apple App Store today. Come in, have fun, join DJ's Cat Pack, and you can do that. But can you destroy other players' ships? No. You can destroy other players' monsters and workouts, though. You can actually see other players' workouts and like go head to head and have workout competitions and battles and progress through missions. It's very, very cool. So I love it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And Drew says, "Cool, man, stick with it." I am. I'm having a good time with it. Mecrack says, "How can I get it?" It is available in Google Play and the Apple App Store. Just search for Cardio Quest, and you can actually visit them online as well at mycardioquest.com. They've got a great trailer up there and website and some information. They've also got instructions on how to sync it to your devices as well. All right. Chef says, "Oh, wow, it's been 45 minutes. Oopsies. Sorry about that."
That is exactly the length of DJ's time.
That is DJ's time. Okay. Can I have my workout stolen by Wardot? Possibly. Not entirely sure. Yeah, that was DJ's time. Ladies and gentlemen, Jules Verne is here. Thank you very, very much for being here today. You've got a bunch of stuff that you wanted to talk about today. The first segment that we could do, we've got 18 minutes left. Do you have something short that you wanted to do in this? Because I know you did mention there was something short.
Yeah, we're gonna get through the overview of all of the premium content that was released this year or this month. That is the Chaos Tech, the Primes, the new artifacts. We're gonna get through this really quickly. We've got a little bit of a deeper dive into artifacts we can do after our first commercial break. So let's just get started with the Chaos Tech. Can you go ahead and get into your game?
Absolutely. Very quickly, thank you for the Hydrate, C Engineering, Jules Verne, appreciate that. And Vahalan King asked me to change my name to make me the #1 content creator. Thank you. I've done that. Coming in and taking a look at Chaos Tech this month. The reason that we say we're going to spend a little bit of time on this is that it is considered premium content. We did want to talk a little bit about it, Jules, because we've done a lot of free-to-play content this week. As a matter of fact, the Revenant Guide is up and it's getting tons of views. You guys really, I appreciate you guys liking that. Again, a huge thank you to Jules Verne, who probably spent hours and hours putting that thing together. It was absolutely incredible. Visit our YouTube channel and you can find that video, the complete free to play guide on the SS Revenant. I know Rev did a video this past week, Jules, and it was a very high level overview. A great video if you want to watch it in 10 minutes. If you want the Bible on the Revenant, if you want every crew, every strategy, every statistic, you need a complete 100% understanding of the ship and how it works, you check out our teaching guide from Jules Verne. It's exactly 1 hour, but it's got every shred of data in there regarding the SS Revenant. So we did a lot of free-to-play content this week, especially with the Alliance tournaments as well, but there have been a few new things added, a couple of artifacts, a couple of chaos tech, a couple of primes. This is what we're going to spin through very, very quickly. Jules, the first new chaos tech.
Because you brought up the Revenant, I did want to make one correction. It was the very tail end we were talking about the evolution gifts, and you asked me a question being like, is this quantity that you're getting in these chests, is it each type or is it combined? I said combined. I was wrong. It is each type. So it is 3 times better than even I was leading on to believe, and we thought that was a good
Holy
value.
smokes,
So
you're talking, so it's 15,000 materials of each type.
Of each type.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot. That's crazy.
And
That's
if you combine in
big.
the 10 evolutions, you're looking at, if we're talking about G4 players looking at their 5-star potential gains, that's 143,000 of each 5-star uncommon before
What?
they've even been Ops 51.
140,000 5-star crystal, uncommon. 143,000 unstar ore and 143,000 unstar uncommon 5-star gas.
They could collect all of that before being G5. So that's the correction I want to make, and I'm using this. I wanted to bring it up again today because we're going to, later in the segment, later in the show, talk a little bit about G5. We have a little primer. There's a whole presentation about being intro to G5, kind of condensing G5 into a small presentation, similar to what we did with G6. Thank you, Destros, for leading that charge, and he'll be presenting that on Thursday. But just kind of want to give some of these facts out there. So, other correction, small correction. When we're talking about the Alliance free-to-play tasks, there's a small bug. It is player beneficial. So I am going to say it, but it's been there since Alliance Tournaments has been out. If you collect any temporal disruptors inside of a bundle that also contains an officer shard, you get double the amount of disruptors scored. Where does that count? The rare Zindi Armada bundles. Now, that hasn't really been a big deal because so few people can even pull those. But if you look at your rare Zindi Armada bundles, you'll notice that you have a chance at Trip Tucker or Archer. And if you can pull that while you have that Alliance task up, any temporal disruptors that come in from that bundle are doubled or tripled.
If it comes with an officer shard.
If it comes with an officer shard. And there's a high chance that you'll get an officer shard in a pull. I don't know if you'll get 2 different officer shards. So if you're working on that and you want to pull your Zindi chest while you have that.
Holy smokes. I mean, because there's not a small number of temporal disruptors in here. I mean, you've got a lottery chance at 16K, but, just doing the small chest, which is what I actually did last time, and that's 2 chest pulls. So you've got 2 chances at the 800, 1500, or 2300. You get an officer shard with that first roll. Those are going to be doubled. Then you get your second roll, and you get an officer shard with that one. It's going to be doubled. And you're telling me that if you got 2 officer shards, then you can only get 1 officer shard per roll, though, right?
Yay, bugs.
Is that right?
Not necessarily.
Yes.
Yeah. No. I think there's more than one here. I got to pull up the chart now. Now you're making me. I'm going to give correct information. I might as well actually be fully correct.
Yeah,
And DJ, not to mention that the Emerald chain at level 19 gives you an extra roll on both of those. So that will, a lot of alliances will be hitting that, either have already hit it or will be hitting it at the end of this tournament.
All right,
And
so
You currently have.
I'm already
2
at
and 3,
19. So yeah, mine's getting me 2 rolls instead of 1 roll. So I got it. Yeah, I've already got it.
Also, remember the sourcing of rare Zindi directives that started this month.
The DTI
And
store.
how often?
Yeah. You can get them in Alliance tournaments
Section
as well.
31. Well, yeah, but one
Not
of them
DTI,
is way
yeah.
more expensive than the other. And
Correct.
it's Section 31. So just think about the cooldown on this is 3 days. So you can do it, and I did do it twice in one alliance tournament.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean,
But
these
yes,
things
that
are
is, you actually
evolving.
get 4 rolls. You get 4 rolls of
Yeah.
officers per chest.
4 rolls of officer per chest.
And you only got 2 different types of officers, so it's highly likely that you'll actually have 2 officers in a pool. You currently already have Emerald Chain 19 Plus, which is why you see a 2 chest and a 3 chest.
Yeah.
So that is the bonus that you'd have. So you can have up to 12 rolls if you're able to do 3 chests. That gives you pretty much a guaranteed chance of having at least 1 chart of each of those officers, which would then triple the amount of temporal disruptor points that you receive. Not the actual physical amount, just the points that you
The
receive
points
for that task.
for the task event, yeah. Which I mean, temporal disruptors are amazing. So, very good information to have. Thank you for the update on that, Jules. And for those of you hanging out in the stream and want to update that with the information you've already shared with your alliance, because I've gotten a ton of comments, Jules, that they have shared both of those teaching guides out with their alliances. They're great. They're fully comprehensive, very immersive, and thank you again for the effort on putting that together. So, what chaos tech do we have to talk about this month?
Well, we've got the Godsend and Control. So let's just talk about Control first. It is an uncommon, currently pay only, but if they do provide sourcing in there, then you can receive the benefits of protected cargo or base ship XP gained from hostiles. I mean, meh, but so is uncommon, right? Like this would be nice to have, but not something that anyone's going to purchase, right? Like if we got this unlocked free to play, yeah, you're probably going to put that protected cargo in your Selkie so that, War Dog takes less of your materials.
Meh. You know where I'm going to put this, to be honest with you? All right.
Yeah.
Me, probably not. But I want to point this out. If they do end up making this a free-to-play item, all right, this would be very, very... yes, I can see it being good on a mining ship if you're a server at war. I am not going to care that much. But I can see this being a chaos tech for players who actively grind XP for scrapping ships. This ends up being, if this ends up being grindable at some point, it's going to be extremely easy to max this thing out. The only thing that we're going to have to push on, which by the way I have been, is the sourcing of these chaos tech rods, the chaos tech fusion rods, and the normal fusion rods for forbidden tech. I've been working on trying to get them to work on this a little bit more, because right now, Jules, it's almost like you put a forbidden tech on or a chaos tech on and you kind of have to leave it there, right? I'm working with them on a plan right now to try to make those a little bit more. Listen, Scopely wanted them to be gear. They wanted them to not be a set it and forget it. They wanted them to be something that players would move in and out based on the tasks at hand. And right now, it's not able to do that.
No, you got to separate Forbidden Tech and Chaos Tech, because Chaos Tech fusion rods, you get plenty of them.
Okay.
65,000, you can move Chaos Tech around at least 30 times in your case.
Okay.
It's really cheap to move with the fusion rods for Chaos Tech. For Forbidden Tech, I absolutely 1,000% agree. Fusion rods are a big problem.
Okay.
You cannot move around Forbidden Tech.
Well, I just told them all. Swapping
you can
stuff
barely
in and out.
unlock them.
Yeah, swapping stuff in and out. That's what has to happen, and I am working with them. As a matter of fact, we've got a little bit of a plan. Hopefully, it's going to be something that's coming very, very soon, but I'm going to wait to see how it's implemented. But they did take an idea that we had, and we're working on it right now for implementation. But that being said, this is something... Okay, so especially Chaos Tech then. If that's not an issue, there's a lot of grinders out there. A lot of grinders out there who grind out their XP for leveling ships, whether it be for scrapping, whether it be just for leveling up. You park it in Texas space, you park it in faction space, you park it in augment space. I mean, there's still players. If I went right now to augment space, there's going to be 30 ships in there, sitting there around the border. And while we might say that's gross, right? We might say that's gross. We might say, oh, well, we can lat that, or, blah, blah, blah. Listen, there are players out there who grind this stuff out. Yeah. So Of course. Obviously, there's a ton of players out there that grind this stuff out. So when we're looking at this, is there a Chaos Tech already for Ship XP? I don't know if it's Chaos Tech, not Chaos Tech. There is a Forbidden Tech, all right, but not a Chaos Tech for it. And this is just going to stack up and make it go even faster. All right. So I can see this being good for somebody who's going to sit out there and park. And if Chaos Fusion Rods are not a pain point, then it's something that players should actually be doing. All right. Especially, as Putz points out, on Tuesdays now, if you're trying to do the 1,000 hostiles instead of doing the trial bells, which I'm not going to necessarily recommend you do all 1,000 hostiles. But if you're doing that, it's a great time to sit that out and earn some XP. Not to mention, also, if you hit your daily hostile cap, that includes XP. You won't get any more of that either. So anything that's going to improve that is not necessarily a bad thing. All right?
Oh, also, the reason I still do it is they mentioned that G5 scrapping in their Q&A last year is hopefully coming sometime this year. And if you look at the amount of XP that's needed for a level of a G5 ship,
It's insane.
It's insane. And that is way more than the average low spender free to play player can really put into lat consistently for a scrap loop like that. So it's like, if they want people who are low spend and free to play to be G6 later, and they want people to be engaging in that scrap loop, there needs to be more ways to make that more efficient for people.
Tarpy,
And
even now, the daily scrap, right? And jellies are like, oh my god, that's a lot of latinum if I'm going to do it. That's a significant chunk. So I put out jellies every Tuesday in the yellow systems that have an auto hunt. So
yeah, so it's making it so that the lower spend and free to play people can really be able to choose where they put their time and where they put their latinum, because anything that helps with XP for ships, it saves time. It saves times, it saves hostiles, it saves a lot of things. So that there's people that make fun of it, but it is really something people still do.
I didn't think we would talk so much about Ship XP, but this is great, and I think it's a good
I've been
perspective,
asking
particularly for
for weeks.
G5 progression. So
Yeah,
I
I've
did
been
want to
asking
continue
for.
to push that hurt a little bit and push forward.
Thank you. Indominus Prime just dropped $100 into our redemption milestone bucket. He says,
thank you.
I hit my 100 stream streaks. That means I owe you a pack. I think you got it the other way around, bro. You got it the other way around. I appreciate your dono, but send me something. I'll send me a message in DM and we'll get you your pack as well. Thank you, by the way, for $100. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. So there is control. All right, you got control. Is it worth $20? Not in my book, all right, and certainly not to a free-to-play, but almost certainly this Chaos Tech is going to become available very, very soon. And when it does, it is definitely something that a free-to-play should be looking at. The second one this month is the epic $100 Godsend. All right, Jules, this is the one that they're actively promoting. They're actively selling it. What does it do?
Weapon damage against hostiles, Apex barrier against hostiles, and Apex shred against hostiles. Now, breaking that down, weapon damage, even at max, is mostly negligible, considering a lot of players have more bonuses against hostiles than against all targets. The Apex barrier is less than the Chrono Deflector, which is a rare and currently free-to-play sourced.
Yes.
So really, we're focusing all of our attention on the Apex Shred against hostiles, which the only hostiles really in this game that have a good amount of Apex Barrier are our solo waves. So really, this is a solo wave Chaos Tech. The one benefit that I would say that this has is that you can have it on one ship while your Chrono Deflector is on a different ship. As in, like, it is not as good as a Chrono Deflector, but it is a secondary version of one. So there's a possibility you can use this for your solo waves if you are struggling in solo waves. But let me put that last one into perspective. Increases Apex Shred against hostiles. Well, where else do we get Apex Shred against hostiles?
Nowhere. No, that's not true.
No, there's a favor. There's a Section 31 favor.
That's right. Yeah, the Section 31 favors. I forgot about that. The Section 31 favors in your faction store gets you some shred based on ship type. So this one would be shred all across all of your ships. But within Section 31, you also have 3 favors that are adding shred based on a ship type, and only in wave defense.
Which is true. That is currently the only place where we have a very high apex barrier on hostiles. Though those ones, what's the max value on those?
100%.
150% is the max value on those.
Oh, I'll have to go back and look. I was just checking on something. So Giorgio does not have PvE. Yeah, she does.
Officer ability.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's got it here. Apex Shred against non-Armada hostiles. So that was your last source there. I was getting confused. I thought she didn't. She does PvP below deck. She does PvE on the bridge, increasing Apex Shred there. So coming back over to the favors inside the Section 31 store, and that's right. It is 150% at level 5. For a ship type, and that is against a specific ship hostile in wave defense only. If we eventually get barrier PvE targets outside of wave defense, then these favors aren't going to do any good, and you're going to be down to only the Godsend and Section 31 Giorgio.
Okay, that's fair. So let me put this in perspective. Ignore Giorgio. If you have these favors and then you add Godsend, how is that going to affect your performance? Well, with just the favors alone, you are going to put 60% more damage past because you will have reduced their apex barrier. If you add the Godsend, you will put 65% more damage past their apex barrier. So it's an additional 5% past. That's a net gain of 5%. Not great. Not like what is advertised, and probably not worth $100.
It reminds me of Borg Queen's Remains. And I say that jokingly and hostilely, all right? Because, this game does this. And we were just talking about this past week, Jules, how people were spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on Borg's Queen's Remains when it came out, and it gives like 5 or 10 or 12%, and now you've got Cascade officers out there that do 150%. All right, it's absolutely.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you on that point if they came out with officers that did that in the same month they came out with Borg Queen's Remains. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like they released the Godsend a month late. Section 31 Giorgio probably shouldn't have been released this month if they really wanted to sell Godsend, or if they really wanted to sell those favors. So I'm going to end my spiel on the Godsend being like, it is kind of mute. It is a secondary. Once you get it free to play, you can put it behind your Chrono Deflector, because it really isn't that useful until we see more hostiles being added to the game that have a high apex barrier.
In other words, we're looking at this $100, and let me make sure that I get this right. This is a $100 piece of content that actually functionally, in our opinion, does not deliver $100 worth of game impact in any way, shape, or form.
Correct.
Okay. There you go. So, taking a look at the 2 paid Chaos Techs this month, if we're giving them a smash or pass, unfortunately, it's going to have to be a pass. What do you got else this month that was premium content?
Primes. Let's talk about the primes real quick. So we've got Covert Acquisition.
Covert Acquisition, which
would be in the station tree, I believe.
I think you're correct. Let's dig around for these. There's so much in here anymore. Here we go. Covert Procurement. Is that what it is? Covert Procurement?
Yes.
There we go. Increases cost efficiency of G4 through G6 materials when upgrading buildings. It's a single layer prime or single level prime that gives 100% efficiency in G4 through G6 materials. Jules, when we're looking at 100%, traditionally, 100% is the value that we would traditionally place on a prime. Problem is, as Quazel points out, we got a lot of efficiency for materials already. Is that correct?
I mean, this is going to be on a player by player basis. They should check their efficiencies using Spock's Club or by doing some simple math, taking a look at what a station component costs and dividing that by what you can see in your in like stfc.space. But Spock's Club is definitely the best because it'll tell you the exact percentage of efficiencies or buffs that you have, so you can kind of see and make a really quick calculation, see what your net bonus would be. In my instance, it was around a 5% net bonus. But what that translates to when you're talking about, progressing all the way through 3 different generations, and you are a player who does plan on buying packs to progress, then you can say, okay, this has X amount of value to me. If you're not a player that's paying for, say, station packs or any other types of pack, but your intended purpose for those packs is to progress your station, then this may have value to you.
As a matter of fact, while Jules is describing that, I do pop up Spox.club and I take a look and demonstrate what it is that he's talking about. So my cumulative efficiency bonus for me as a G6 player, if I take a look at materials, okay, I'm going to look at G6 uncommon material. I am at 757% right now. Now, got to be honest with you, another 100%. That's not nothing. Okay, that's not nothing.
That's 12% more for you. So
12% more for me. Not necessarily a bad thing. Zanita says every little bit helps. UltimatDJz says still worth it. I'm not going to necessarily argue. If I'm comparing that prime as compared to the Godsend, for example, this one is way, way more worth it. All right. However, Quazel's right. There are some other sources that may actually end up being better, such as some of the artifacts that we can talk about. Now, granted, some of these artifacts,
mirror research.
Yeah, mirror research. Another one there. That would be, I'm trying to find, where's that? The premium mirror research here. So there are some things to work on. But again, I am going to point out kind of what the chat is saying is that all of these are cumulative. All right. Comparing one versus your sum of everything else might be a little bit unfair. That's why I love what Spock's Club has done here with the cumulative efficiency bonuses. I can see very quickly and accurately how much this prime is going to give me. I have 757% now. Adding 100% to that, as Jules said, is going to be about a net gain of 12%. All right. Is that worth $100 to me? I don't know. I'll think about it. All right. Probably not right now for where I'm at in the game and what I'm spending on the game. This is not probably going to be in my top 5. But depending on what it is that you're looking at, maybe you are a fresher G4 player who likes to spend. Say you're a year into this game, you spend a little bit, you're at Ops 45, you're progressing right along, and you love the game, and you're spending some money. This might be something that is much more impactful to you because you might see that your efficiency bonuses are down at 300% or 350 or 400%, where adding 100% is going to be a net gain of 25% efficiency. That is somewhat effective. I mean, that's pretty big, to be honest with you. And that's why Jules says that it does depend on your status as a player and the status of your account. Visit Spock's Club, Spox.club, for you to get this information about your account so you can make an educated decision. Jules, if you're looking at your efficiency bonuses, mainly because I'm just wanting to see how I stack up here, is the 100% beneficial to you?
I actually just double checked mine. I have 1,000%.
Oh God!
Before, and I did buy it.
Wait, what? You have 1,000? I'm 250% under you. How?
Because this is the thing I focus on.
Oh, J-Man Christmas. Carissa says I'm at 834%. Well, good on you guys. Okay, thanks.
Okay, I do want to move forward because we're running out of time in this segment. Wanted to point that out over.
Yeah, thanks.
One last thing I want to add on here is that the way that they've been wording a lot of these new efficiencies, where it's segmenting it to a very specific generational gap, G4 through G6, or G4 only, G5 only, G6 only. I think those, we have to devalue those. Captain Bull said it earlier ago. It would have been worth it to me a week ago, but since it caps at G6, it's a no-go. That's exactly the right mentality. I think everyone needs to take a look when they're thinking about investing some of their dollars into stuff like this. You got to really look at like, what is the long-term value? Anything that doesn't have that generational gap, especially as we predict G7 will happen at some point. Will any of this stuff work on that future content? So who knows? All right, I do want to move forward to the encrypted Section 31 credits.
All right, encrypted Section 31. Let's see, where is that one going to be? Encrypted Section 31.
Oh, it's in Mirror Tree. Mirror Tree. Okay. In the rare section. Okay. Its description, not very good. Because it doesn't actually tell you the amount that's in here.
Yep, I remember
this. Don't worry. Somebody else made the leap and discovered the exact amount that you get in your daily claim. Take a look in the chat room and on the Discord. I have posted this small chart. It is 1,500 regular Section 31 credits, 400 mirror credits, and 0 of the new access keys. There was a small window of time on the web store where they advertised that it had access keys in it that had been removed very quickly. So just to be clear, there is no of the current currency that's come out. This is a daily claim on the old currencies.
So it doesn't
moving right along.
It doesn't enhance anything. Like this is just an improvement. Like basically, it just opens a new box with 1,500 original Section 31s and 400 mirror credits. Is that it?
Daily. It's pay to skip grind. You don't have to grind anything anymore. You just press a button.
False. You would still have to do the solos, and the solos are paying way more than these items anyway.
Okay, so it is pay to script previous grind, and then you get to decide whether or not you want to enjoy the current grind. I agree. This has 0 value.
Oh wait, does this like supplant the lack of does this supply the difference between what you can get from your one solo wave compared to what you would get before from all the waves that you would do before? So this isn't even
waves before.
Yeah.
It's assuming that you're doing waves. I stopped doing waves entirely. I would do like one mirror wave every 2 weeks. So for me, at that moment, if they did not release the solo waves that also grant these backdated credits, then maybe this would have value. But because, as DJz has pointed out, the solo waves do grant these in high quantities for G5 and G6, this now has no value.
Here's what Scopely needs to do on this prime right here. All right, I'm going to offer this real quick, and then we can move on. You want to make this worth $100? Make it double the amount of directives that you get from the cooldown chest. All right, so 200 every 3 days. Make it double the amount of directives and add the daily claim of the new solo wave defense credits in addition to the original Section 31 and mirrors, and now you've got a prime. Okay, now you've got a prime. If you add a daily drip of the new credits and add another 100 directives every 3 days, I feel like there you've got a $100 prime. This prime, this is silly. This is silly.
Indeed.
Okay,
let's talk about the last
one.
Let's talk about the last prime, and that is your Prime Apex Hunter. This is in the combat research tree. This is your Borg Creed's remains.
Prime Apex Hunter.
Apex Hunter, about halfway through on the bottom side, still in the 4-star area.
Prime Apex Hunter, increasing base Apex shred on all ships when fighting players does not apply while defending the station. This is the prime that came out that further allows me to just shake my head at the amount of shred that has been introduced in PvP this month. It is a single level prime worth 25%, which is also kind of cute, seeing as how Giorgio gives 100%. But in all fairness, adding everything together for PvP shred this month, that pretty much immediately comes in and offers you 125% shred against all Apex barrier that's been introduced in its first month, thereby pretty much just, taking a year's worth of barrier and saying, pieces. Anyway, Jules, analytically, what does this prime do in comparison to the Section 31 George O below deck officer? By the way, a below deck officer makes it even worse. And what does it do to Apex barrier that people have spent a year working on?
Well, pretty much negates half of the Apex barrier. Well, not this particular prime, but this plus or Joe for more. I just, to me, it's like if they say, hey, every 10,000, you can double how much hole you can survive, right? Like that's kind of what their shtick was with Apex barrier. Well, now you can't get to 10,000 to get to that same point. You now have to get to 20,000 Apex barrier before you're going to see that same effect when you're up against 100% Apex shred. So it's going to be more difficult for us to kind of get to that point where we were extending battles. We were being able to use Kujitsu. But now with Giorgio having that PvP below deck ability, her being accessible through this multi-layered SMS, and with this prime out, it is just indicative of new factors coming into the game with more Apex shred. So it's just gonna get worse.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I mean, you're pretty much going back
to
to Carol. Giorgio is as important to PvP today as Carol Freeman was a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, whenever that happened. However long we have spent digging out of the problem of too much cascade damage is now at the forefront again. As a matter of fact, I had a thought today. I was actually looking in the Alliance tournament store, and I'm only going to spend a second on this because I'm out of snoozes, so I've got to take a break in 1 minute. But Jules, I kind of got to thinking, and I'd like your idea, just a quick response, or we can do it after the break if you feel like it. Do you believe that this is going to put a renewed importance on isolytic defense? I mean, can isolytic defense, now that it's had a year to brew, can isolytic defense undo some of the damages by Carol Freeman now that Shred is going to just demolish barrier? Are we putting emphasis back on... We already said we're putting emphasis back on Cascade, right, for damage output. Does that mean that isolytic defense has now become very important again, by chance?
I can answer that in 30 seconds. They've never released enough isolated defense to lower the isolated damage incoming enough to matter.
Okay.
It does matter, but it's never been enough to truly matter. So on that note, that's the end of my statement on Apex Shred.
In other words, Scopely could put a renewed effort into isolatic defense and potentially mitigate some of the disaster that is Apex Shred. Yeah?
Or isolatic reduction. They've already put in a couple of isolated cascade reduction factors in the game. Maybe that's something they can continue.
All right. Maybe something that we can at least try to pitch to them to keep PvP from going back to who pressed the button last. Unbelievable. 2 years of work down the drain. We're going to take a very quick break. When we come back, Jules, what's in your next segment? You've got a lot more that you want to talk to the people
service. About. All about artifacts.
All about artifacts. It all comes up on the other side of this break. My name is UltimatDJz. Thank you so much for tuning in today on your Sunday edition of Talking Trek Live. Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast will return right after a word from our sponsors and their brand new commercial spot.
When life takes an unexpected turn, you need someone who will fight for you. At Musgrove Trial Firm, we stand up for Georgians in the courtroom and beyond. From personal injury to wrongful death, we bring experience, compassion, and relentless dedication to every single case. Justice isn't just a goal, it's our mission. Visit musgrovetrialfirm.com and let us fight for what matters most to you. Call Buddy at 678-226-1994. That's 678-226-1994. Commanders, in the vast universe of Star Trek Fleet Command, understanding the rules of engagement is crucial. At PvPtarget.com, our comprehensive guide ensures you navigate battles with honor. Learn the importance of protected cargo and why attacking a ship under its limit is deemed by some as an act of war. Discover which vessels are classified as warships and what ranges of ships you can attack. Find tips on crewing, mining, and the battle triangle, and so much more. Equip yourself with knowledge to engage responsibly. Visit PvPtarget.com and become the commander your alliance deserves.
This program is made possible in part by a grant from Central 21 Real Estate. Our eager young agents will do whatever it takes to sell you a home.
In other news, studies show that there's been a significant decrease in shark attacks this year. And no one seems to know why.
Whoa, look at that big gray white. Hey, Lenny, good to see you in these waters, pal.
Hey, Al. Yeah, I think I got a little lost. Somewhere near the Gulf of America? Hard to believe my Shark GPS actually updated the name.
Well, you're looking good, my friend. You been slimming down?
Not on purpose. These humans just aren't the same serving size anymore. It's killing my appetite.
Tell me about it. You seen Jelly Roll lately? Looks more like a pixie stick to me.
I blame Ozempic.
Don't humans get it? People eat fatty foods, then they get fat, and we eat fat people. It's pretty simple.
Anyway, listen, I'm gonna head back to that Gulf of America. I hear there's some action in those waters. Hey, stay loose, Al.
Take it easy, Lenny.
Sorry, boss. I'm not gonna make it in. I have the flu.
It's kind of a big day, and you really don't sound that sick.
When you get the flu, make sure you get the perks of being sick by sounding as miserable as you feel with Veriflu.
Veriflu? What's that?
It's the only drug on the market verified to make your symptoms sound even worse. So you sound absolutely terrible. More coughing, more sneezing, and body aches that could cripple a horse.
My flu took a turn for the worse.
Whoa, you sound awful. You better stay home.
Thanks, Veriflu.
When you need to call out, don't buy Theraflu. Stay home longer with Veriflu.
Mad scientist with a gleam in his eye. Jules Verne unraveling the why. Starships soaring through cosmic dread. Talking Trek where the fleet has fled. Warp core humming under the stars. Resources gathered from nebulous spars. Teaching us tactics like a sly magician. Galaxy conquest becomes our mission. Oh, talking Trek, where the answers burn from the mad scientist Jules Verne. Navigate the stars where legends play in the Fleet Command universe every day.
Welcome back in, everybody. Appreciate you guys all being here. This is Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. Oh, yeah. Isn't that a banger? Love it. It is great stuff. Again, thank you to our amazing studio singers and their conductor slash writer slash producer, Nigel. Isn't it good? Love that one. Jules, this is one of the first ones that he made for us. And I loved this one. I loved it so much. But then he came back through with a couple of others, including that very suave Michael Bublé version, and then like the 50s swing from Cat. It was just absolutely incredible, right? So good stuff.
Great.
It was good
I
stuff.
love it.
And just before anybody gives us any grief about AI and all this stuff, no, we've actually got a member of our community
who works in this industry. Like, he is a producer, a writer, he does jingles, he has studio singers. We have the names of the people who are singing these. It's absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for the work that you're putting in, which I have no idea why they're making such incredible content for us, but thank you. We love you. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much. My name is UltimatDJz. Welcome back to Talking Trek, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast, where Griffin sends his best wishes. He is actually traveling home today. He's traveling home today from his family member who is finally home and doing better. But I actually asked him if he wanted to pop on the stage today, because he actually told me that it's just a crazy time of year for him. So he came home today. He is turning right around, has to pack, and is leaving back out for Los Angeles for a work trip. Then he gets to come home. So he's going to be gone for about a week. He gets to come home for a week and then back to L.A. again for another shoot on April 2nd. This guy is just all over the map right now. I said, good Lord, lots of miles. He said, yeah, busy. This, 'tis the season for some of what he's doing. So he is out having a great time and is going to be checking in with us here and there, but does send his regards. And of course, why I had to go ahead and rep his Welch's Grape Ghost Energy with 200 milligrams of natural caffeine, 1,000% Carnipure carnitine, 100 milligrams of Neurofactor, and 100% of 4 daily vitamins with none of the sugar and no artificial colors. You can find yours on Amazon.com today. Actually, why don't you find yours on TalkingTrekSTFC.com? Click on the Amazon link up top and get a sponsor link and support the channel by doing any and all of your everyday shopping through Amazon. Click on our link to support the channel and pay us a commission on what you would be ordinarily buying anyway. That's at TalkingTrekSTFC.com. Welcome back to our panel of experts. Tarpey is with us today. Putz is hanging out. And Jules Verne, the mad scientist, here to talk to you about, man, you have been busy this week. You've done so much teaching this week, and it's not stopping because this Thursday, why don't you give us a little bit of a hint at what is actually coming this Thursday?
Well, this will not be me, but Destros has put together a lot of information, a lot of analysis, breaking down everything G5. Essentially trying to become the guide to the current state of G5, what big factors to look forward to, what kind of diving into each of the specialty ships, that sort of thing. So Tarpey and I have been helping him out with that. So this is all his project that we've just been helping. And then hopefully today we can use the later half of this show as a primer for that, as in, hey, give us some context, give us some community feedback. So we're going to do a little community roundtable and Q&A session. Got a couple of questions to kind of throw out to the audience and see if we can get anybody on stage who is G5 to kind of give their point of view on some of those questions.
Yeah, not long ago, and we've actually got this on our YouTube channel. Jules and Tarpey prepared a Welcome to G6 guide, which a lot of people have been watching. And if you don't know that exists, you can find that on our YouTube channel. It is a complete comprehensive guide as to when you are ready for G6 and what items you have to check off your list to be ready to go into G6 land. And now we're preparing the exact same thing for our G4 audience as they prepare to enter G5. Jules, as Scopely has very much indicated over the last 2 years, G3 is done. It is concluded content. As a matter of fact, we've seen content scale up over the last 2 years where they created an entry band at level 40, for example. Then it crept to 42. And this month is the very first time that we've seen content higher than that level, which now has a gated entry at Ops 45, and that is solo wave defense. They are definitely moving in the direction of designing content for a narrower band of player and speeding up the earlier G2, G3 sections of the game to get players into that G4, G5, G6 range. With solo wave defense, launching at a barrier or an entry point at Ops 45. Some players are going to be making a push towards getting to that level. And once you're at 45, honestly, it is already time to start looking ahead. What ships, what faction, what rep. And this coming Thursday, Daystros and Tarpy are going to be giving you the G5 entry guide, just like we gave you the G6 entry guide here not too long ago, on what it is that you need to know, have ready, have off your checklist, and things that you still need to be focusing on as you enter in the land of G5. That is coming up this Thursday on Talking Trek. Today, on the remaining portion of our show, at least this upcoming segment, there were new artifacts released this month. You had the Emperor's ceremonial uniform. Jules, we've had the Section 31 beacon and the Star Dispatch newspaper. There are 3 of those. Plus, there was sourcing added for a number of artifacts in the Section 31 store. We're going to do a deep dive here today on the game's artifacts over the last 60 to 90 days and what they actually do in comparison to the original temporal artifacts, the original isolytic artifacts, and the original generic artifacts, and whether or not these new artifacts actually carry value. Are they worth the spend? And more importantly, are they worth the chase? That for those that are available in the Section 31 store, and the 3 new ones that are paid this month, which will undoubtedly appear in a grind very, very soon. Jules, let's talk about the brand new ones that are paid entry this month. We'll start with the Star Dispatch. Tell us a little bit about this artifact and what it actually does.
Research cost efficiency for G4 to G6 materials. So the same sort of balance that you need to make for yourself and analyze how much efficiencies you currently have for materials in your researches and see if this is going to have any value to you. Now, the difference between this and a 1-level prime, it does have multiple levels, which means it does have multiple walks. And we'll kind of talk through that a little bit when we get into the chart. So you can see here, all the way up at level 12 is 350%, but that's also locked at operation 60. So that 350% is not going to apply prior to you getting to ops 60.
Now, I want to ask you a very quick question here real quick before we go deeper. Here, just a few moments ago, we're talking about building research efficiency, which is what one of the primes did this month. If we're looking at research, does it not automatically feel like 350% is a gazillion percent better than a 100% building prime? Or is there that much more research in the game?
I think you have to look at your own personal efficiencies to discover if that's going to be worthwhile to you. But also recognizing a simple fact about these 3 particular artifacts. When you buy a pack, you're only buying the first level. Maybe you can squeeze out a second level if you have a high amount of efficiency. I don't think that's actually possible. So what you're buying is 40%. You can invest more to buy more levels of this, potentially getting up to 72% for $200. You get my point? So until this becomes free to play, you're investing a lot of money at incremental amounts of efficiency.
Well, one other thing to point out is that the game does have a lot more research efficiency. Now, I am not looking at the right one. Maybe, and I'm sure Jules wasn't prepared to do this. Maybe he can, or somebody in the chat can show me, just give me the name of a G6 research that does cost materials. However, I just randomly pulled one up. Crystal Research Efficiency. It's actually a 4-star research, research efficiency. But I want to point out that if I'm looking at 4-star uncommon crystal or 4-star rare crystal, I am nowhere near the 700% in research efficiency that I had for buildings, all right, or material efficiency I had for buildings. But now I'm looking at the research efficiency. There is so much more research efficiency in the game that now shows mine. And I'm sure I'm a little bit of the weaker one. I'm sure Jules and Cruzito are going to point this out to me as well. But I'm at 1,175% on 4-star material. Jules is showing us right now survival, cell, containment. Let's take a look at this one. I must have spelled that wrong. Survival, cell, containment. All right, let's take a look. And I'm going to set that to 4. We're going to go to 5 and take a look. This is going to tell me right here what my research efficiency is. Now, got to be honest with you, Jules, that actually makes this more valuable to me. If I look at my 6-star rare gas, I personally am only sitting at 725% on G6 research material efficiency. So 350% through an artifact seems like, at least once it becomes grindable, that seems like that's going to have a super huge impact.
It definitely will when it becomes grindable. But if we take a look at, let me just kind of do some quick math here, equals sum all of this.
And that's true. Magu says, you know what? Do keep in mind, DJ, it's $100 for 40%. You don't get the 350% for $100, which is exactly what Jules is just saying. Divine says, yeah, DJ, go ahead and spend $2,000 to get that 350%. When it becomes grindable, definitely something to look at. Here up front, 40% for $100. Well, now the argument becomes a little bit more serious. This is what I love about artifacts, though. I've always loved this about artifacts, is their growth potential and the fact that these things seemingly have much better sourcing in the game and much better upgradability in the game than a lot of other things. Now, there's always that point of contention that unlocking it is the barrier to cost, all right, which is true. But, Jules, if I'm not mistaken, this one is categorized as temporal, which means once you unlock it, it is not.
Nope. Well, here's the thing. It is temporal, but this is the point where you need to go into the spreadsheet. We just got to jump in now.
Okay.
Let's just get in there.
Do it. Boom. There we are. Okay.
I will place this. This is already pinned in the Twitch, and I'll go ahead and drop this into the Discord chat room as well. Here's the difference. So I need you to go over to the tab marked temporal artifacts.
Okay.
And we've had some issues with some misinformation here. When this all first came out, the first generation of temporal artifacts, well, that was entirely through the temporal restoration process. That was using temporal disruptors to unlock and level up these items. Okay, then the second generation showed up. Now, these currently have no sourcing free-to-play for the unlocks. However, after you've paid to unlock these artifacts, you can then go into temporal restoration and continue to improve them.
Which ones are those? Are they differentiated? Here we go. Temporal restoration. I see over here. Temporal restoration for the unlock and upgrade. And then you've got the phaser, Giorgio's sword, Sarek's necklace. Pay only, but temporal restoration for the upgrade. Same thing over here on the Zalconian storage capsule, Saltana clock, and Jordy's visor. So this is what we're looking at in this particular column, folks. For those of you who are in podcast form, if you click on the link to pull up the Google chart, I'm just going to show a quick example of what I'm talking about here at 3:18 p.m. This particular section of this sheet is going to show where we can unlock it, where we can upgrade it, and how the remnants come. So if we're taking a look at some of these, what he was just describing as the original set of artifacts where they could be unlocked through temporal restoration. Here's the second example that are pay only on the unlock, but then do use temporal restoration to be upgraded. Okay.
And then also use remnants, the same remnants that you would normally get. So you can use the same temporal disruptors, trade in for remnants, and then fully max these things after they hit remnants. But there was a shift around the third generation. This is with the ones that we've just gotten now free to play. This is Amelia Earhart's plane, Friendship One Probe, the Lurpa, the DTI plaque, and then our other epics as well. We'll talk a little bit, where they actually don't have remnants. They continue to use their base shards all the way to level 12.
No way. Are you serious? Yes. Oh, yeah. So looking at that, you can see it in the game. There's no remnant line here. Never even saw that. Wow, that's sneaky. Sneaky. Yeah, there's no remnant line here. They go all the way to level 12 using their original shards. And what you're saying is we have now verified that they don't show in temporal restoration upon their unlock?
That's what we've got for people who have purchased the packs, and let me know. But I have not purchased any of these, so I cannot independently verify.
Let me ask this question. Let me ask.
Oh. It's gonna get worse. Okay, go for it. Go ask the question.
Didn't last month when Griffin did this thing with the temporal, the Crenum temporal or the Crenum time weapon? All right. Was this not a thing last month where we saw that these things didn't show up in temporal restoration? Or that was that was because it uses. No, it doesn't use remnants either, does it?
You're talking about the Crenum time weapon, right?
And it does use remnants.
It uses remnants, so there was no reason for it not to. But here's the thing: with all of these, eventually, even the ones that only cost shards all the way up to the top, once you've maxed those, what are you going to do if you have more shards? What if you continue to pull in Section 31? What are you going to do with those excess shards? So there is a reasoning for wanting to have that overflow mechanic, but I don't think that they're going to include that in artifacts that do not have any remnants. We have not seen that happen yet. I don't think that's going to happen. There has been another generation, and that is this current generation. Well, there's a few generations in between of the epics because they've released more epics. For instance, Emperor Georgios crown that has it also does not have remnants and has a different shard count as compared to our regular artifacts. We also have the strand of Crenum hair and the Crenum time weapon. Oh no, so the Crenum time weapon, the Janeway's pocket watch, those are sourceable through the DTI faction.
And they still use remnants.
Shard count. And then they also use remnants.
What?
So there's just been multiple generations where it just has felt like there's been a slightly different design on each one.
This is weird. Like, do you think this is actually by design? Or do you think that this is
designers?
Yeah, this is more designers. This is people who are writing this content that are not on the same page. This is ridiculous. I didn't know that it was this bad. Wow.
Okay, let's get even crazier. Let's get even crazier.
Oh, great. Yeah, give me more. Give me more.
I'm going to give you two different epic artifacts that are sourceable in the same exact spot, but are vastly different. DTI temporal device. Okay. This one has a total of 822 base shards needed to max. The Anorex's data pad, 1,200, 50% more of the base shards to max.
But they're both
the same
epic.
Sourcing, both don't use remnants. But they're both epic. So why is there this vast difference between the two? So yes, I thoroughly believe that it's been different designers who have copy and pasted the aesthetic, but then said, no, we need the shards to be different for our sourcing path to look good or something. I don't know why they've decided.
Holy smokes.
Plus, the requirements are also all over the place. Because if we take a look at those same two examples, DTI temporal device, well, you can start to get that at Artifact Gallery level 42. And you can max it at Artifact Gallery level 42. That's not the same with, say, Crenum Time Weapon, which every single level is going to require a higher and higher Artifact Gallery. In fact, it has the highest Artifact Gallery requirement to get it to the top level of level 10. This is why when we said, hey, Crenum Time Weapon, Janeway's Pocket Watch, this is your farm for your Temple Disruptors if you're G6. That's because you can't actually get to level 8 until you're op 60. However, you can get way past that for some of these other ones.
Are we suggesting here that there's literally 8 or 9 different templates to the design of artifacts?
Well, there's at least 5 generations in which there's a difference. You're probably right about 8 having 8 different ones having different base. And I don't think that they need to all be the same. Why does every prime need 1,000 prime particles to complete? It doesn't really matter. They're all kind of arbitrary. The only difference is that these are all quote unquote temporal artifacts. And I think at some point they may need to come up with another term and start, as they continue to innovate with both their sourcing and the base shards and their leveling requirements, it's now no longer the similar as regular and isoletic, and it's no longer be similar as temporal. It's going to be something completely different. So eventually then you get there. Oh, and I just wanted to point out one other thing. The newest, 5th generation is what I'm calling it. Section 31 Beacon, the Star Dispatch, and the Emperor Ceremonial Uniform. Those prerequisites are actually operations, not Artifact Gallery at all. So that is a complete change. Like even the base prerequisite is completely changed.
Wow.
Did I blow your mind? You
Yeah,
got quiet.
I'm
Okay.
actually stunned. I mean, yeah, and I listen. It's not that I don't watch some of this stuff, but obviously the lab, the Talking Track lab that Jules, the team that you guys have over there, this is what you guys do. You look for this stuff. On the surface, it doesn't look this chaotic, but holy smokes! I mean, yeah, this is. Tell me you're using different designers without telling me you're using different designers, Benny Hill. I mean, this is absolutely mind-boggling that these have been released this way. And moreover, I take some accountability here. The fact that they haven't been called out on this up to this point, because I know that this conversation has not come up in the meetings that I've been in. All right. Now Nigel says that VIP has talked about this. But this is not. Listen, even if VIP has talked about this, even if it's going on in VIP in my developer meetings, this is not coming up, which means it's not getting past the VIP. Like if it's going to the CMs over there, this is not making it to ops and design because this has not been a conversation point that I've had. I'm going to take it. I'm going to drive with this thing now. This is borderline ridiculous, to be honest with you.
But why? Why does it matter?
Because there needs to be a little bit of consistency here. How is a player supposed to know? Okay, let's use this month as an example. All right. Let's use this month as an example, Jules. Last month, if you bought the artifact, 2 months ago, if you bought the artifact, the unlock of the artifact, then you could use temporal disruptors to upgrade it. True? Then last month, they said the same thing, by the way, because the tooltip said it. There was a huge dust up over the LERPA because the tooltip and everything in game said, buy the unlock, upgrade with temporal disruptors. Okay? But
that wasn't true.
But it wasn't true. It didn't show up. And then Scopely had to react quickly, not only to change the tooltip, but to assure the community that sourcing was coming. And they did. This month, the sourcing for the LERPA and a couple of other artifacts showed up in the Section 31 store using solo wave defense credits. Fine. Okay? I'm completely fine with that, by the way, because guess what? It is immediate. It was day 30 sourcing, and not only upgradable sourcing, but it also was the unlock. All right. So that meant players did not have to, it was not paywalled. All right. If you didn't buy the pack last month, then you could still start to earn progression on these artifacts using the Section 31 store and the solo defense waves. All right. You could, free to play, grind out both the unlock and the upgrades. Now you're telling me this month they're selling these, but inconsistent with 30 days ago and inconsistent with 60 days ago, these have no remnants and no foreseeable upgrade path because they don't use temporal disruptors. They only use direct shards. Now, I find that to be a problem.
Same as 2 months ago. That is the same as 2 months ago and the same as last month. I think, but here's the thing: is that it's even different because the Crenum Time Weapon and Janeway's Pocket Watch weren't sold; they were just immediately available in a faction store. So it's not. It's hard to say that there needs to be consistency in this. I see artifacts as a research tree, and in research trees, there's several researches that are 10 levels, and there's several of them that have a similar prerequisite. But not all of them are the same, and not all of them have the same cost, and nor should they have to be confined to that type of template. I think it's fun that it changes. It just, like I agree with you, needs to be communicated from them and in the pack itself. If I'm going to buy this artifact, I need to know exactly how far it's going to take me, and if I can take it further than that. And like Guru has pointed out, they didn't actually reassure the community. You did. You leaked it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there was even a post about it anywhere. I don't even think Hammy mentioned it once. So on any sort of public forum. So I'm just going to say that, like, yes, they changing the capacity or changing the opacity of how these things are done. That is kind of their MO.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
Okay.
But you know what?
I did want to.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I still don't like it.
They should have just changed the name. They shouldn't have called some of them temporal, because that led to an assumption on our part that they would have all the same tier up ability or
I agree.
mechanic.
The only problem with that was that it was the DTI plaque, the temporal this device. Like it kind of had to be a temporal artifact. But now, like right now, is a great time to retire the temporal artifacts and start fresh. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is a great time to be like, give us the next level. Also, give us a drop down option for
Yes,
temporal.
give me a filter for temporal. But you know, I still feel like, and you're right. I understand, and I draw the comparison to a research tree. Different costs, different efficiencies, different ROIs on all of that stuff, and I get that, and I could almost get behind that. But when we're talking about the upgradability, just the simple fact, can it be upgraded with temporal disruptors? Can it be? We don't know the answer to that. That should be bare minimum information that is provided at the time of sale. All right. For example, if it is truly going to cost me $2,000 to get 350%, then I'm out. I'm 1,000% out, as should most players be. All right. But
it's going to be like $600, $700.
But if
math.
Okay, $700 then for 350%. Still not worth it in my mind. But if we pay the $100 and then there becomes a grinder's upgrade path like they have done with some other artifacts, that changes that calculus. But I think that buyers,
this is the mentality
consumers need to know that information when they buy.
It's true, but I do think that this is the mentality of early access is a worthy compensation. You know, like if you get early access to something, you should pay extra for, or if you can skip a grind, you should pay extra for. I think these are all monetization models they have. I think this is just part of it, where they say we are going to source this free to play in the future. We're not going to tell you when. We're not even going to guarantee it, so that there is some desire to get early access to this now.
And I would agree with that, but still, don't we need to know? Don't we need to know the upgrade mechanic? Don't we need to know what the design is on this thing moving forward? Like, it's not enough. I get it. Early access to buy this thing and to have it now, right? I get that. You're going to spend $700 to have it now? Completely fine. But what if you were only going to spend $100 or $200 on it and then want to work on it over time? Shouldn't you be at least have an idea, or at least have a little bit of a clue as to I mean, I don't know, maybe not. The more I say that, the more I realize we don't have that with a ton of mechanics in this game. So I don't know. I guess I'm just shocked about it. I've been such an advocate, such a fan of artifacts, mainly because of their obtainability and their grindability in this game. Every month, we learn new ways, more efficient ways, more mathematically economical ways to upgrade artifacts and have them have a meaningful impact on your game. And it's like every single time that we do that, unbeknownst to us, there's a step taken on the backside to make it less friendly. And I guess I just wasn't aware of that.
What I think a minor thing, and this is basically changing a tooltip, which should be fairly easy. When they released the LERPA and said, hey, you can upgrade this in the temporal restoration refinery, I think what they need to do is include that text, but say this cannot be upgraded in the temporal restoration. I think that solves basically it all. Like, you now know, okay, great. I can only get the shards from this one source now, and I know I can't upgrade it in that.
Yeah.
Full transparency, full understanding, and it's literally just adding some text to the actual artifact itself before you buy. That is, if you look at it before you buy. I do want to show a couple more things while we're here. Master artifact sourcing. So this tab includes exactly where you can source all artifacts in this game. If they're currently pay only to source them, then they will be marked pay only. but this tells you which formation armada you need to hit. This tells you if you're getting it through your artifact section, which bundles you get it through. And then as we go through the additional sourcing that's been added, it also adds all of the additional sourcing here. So if you're wondering, how do I actually get this particular artifact, go onto this sheet here. The last tab I wanted to point out to you is the artifact upgrade calculator. Now, this recently has gotten a huge overhaul because we've had so many differing types of shards. So you actually have editing permissions on here. So let's pick an artifact that you'd want to kind of take a look at and see if you can upgrade it.
Well,
let's go in your game right now.
Okay.
Go in your game and find something that you want to upgrade in your temporal artifact.
Well, I have been buying DTI plaque shards with my Section 31 waves. I also bought Guinan's weapon and Kirk's phaser rifle with Alliance tournament credits. So I've got a couple actually that I could do now, but I am focused on the DTI plaque and the Strand of Kratom hair I'm doing out of the DTI store. So a couple of them that I'm actively working on now. Let's look at the DTI plaque. Is that fair?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. The DTI, is it the temporal device? No, DTI plaque. Well, let's find that one. DTI. These are not in alphabetical order.
There it is. DTI plaque.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can put in your current level, your shards toward the next, and then what your goal level is. What this is going to tell you is the total amount of shards that are remaining for you to do. This will also tell you the effect and any artifact gallery prerequisites you have here. Now, I haven't switched it to be artifact gallery or ops yet. Minor thing. This also tells you in the little pink or the purple box exactly where you can actually locate more of these shards. One reason I use this tool all of the time is for things out of the temporal restoration, where I'm going to be getting large amounts of shards all at one time, typically during upgrade events. So this would be, I think for you, it looked like your Guardian of Forever was level 1. And if you wanted to continue to upgrade that, and you wanted to get a bunch of bundles because you have a bunch of disruptors to spend, you want to get a bunch of bundles, using this to kind of determine exactly with your efficiency how many artifacts you're going to need to upgrade that.
All right. So my current level on the Guardian Forever is 1. I have 26 shards to the next. My goal level is 12. I've got my Eye of Aura, my Lorca efficiency here. It tells me then that I'm going to need 298 of these regular shards with 5,400 remnants thereafter. And this does take into account the number of shards. Oh, yeah, look right here. It takes into account in the orange section the number of shards I'm going to need at each level. Very nice. Okay, and the ops locks that exist therein and the number of remnants right here. So this chart right here in the orange is going to change. Yeah, that's pretty nifty. Throwing a screenshot into the graphics room, and again, the link to this chart in the graphics room. The time is 3:38 p.m. Eastern time, and the artifact spreadsheet is right above there at 3:18 p.m. Tarpy posted it in there. This is on the artifact upgrade calculator page where you can see exactly the number of shards if you were going to be buying in bulk. And where would you buy in bulk? You're looking at Alliance tournaments, right? You're looking at possibly the DTI store, possibly if you're looking at the Kratom Time weapon, you're looking at a couple of different places if you were looking to buy in bulk, right?
The temporal restoration is the easiest one for the first generation of temporal artifacts. Some other ones have been added in there, including the Glavin and the classic tricorder. Now, those ones are only sourced pay only at this time. They were sourced through events, including the arena preps, which have not run since I don't even remember when the last one was actually ran. I think it was like October, November last year.
November.
But those ones are those when you purchase them, you unlock it, and then they show up in the temporal restoration. So once you've gotten there, you've got tons of disruptors, you're ready to upgrade these things. And you want to bring them to exactly level 8, not any past level 8, you can go ahead and use this calculator. Yep. Also, Spock's Club also has an efficiency calculator in there just as well. That includes is your active efficiency, so you don't want to put them in here. One thing I will say is that you've got to remember to select Lorca's skill artifact efficiency. Like, because I think a lot of people will switch between that and Forbidden Tech and forget when they've swapped. So it does have a great effect if you actually are able to select it and use it. It's going to be great.
And that is under Fleet Commander Lorca, under the leader tree in row 2. You're looking at artifact efficiency. It is a selectable skill, set in contrast to reactors and catalysts for Forbidden Tech, not Chaos Tech, but Forbidden Tech only. Those are selectable skills. I currently have mine on artifacts, but you do have a selectable skill there. And do remember, you've got a 30-minute cooldown on changing those selectable skills as well. I am still.
That's the last of my overview of the temporal. Yeah, that's my last overview of artifacts for you guys, and I'm showing this sheet off, and so you guys can actually use this for your sourcing. Yes, Sin of the Dark. I was talking about Lorca. What did you have any final comments before we move on to our last segment?
I'm disappointed. I guess I
come on, man. I put so much work into this.
I know. I got to be honest with you. I'm really, really bothered by this. And I promise, community, this is a new passion project of mine. I did not realize that it was quite this erratic, and I will be raising this very well. I understand that it looks like VIP has been doing that. You've got another advocate. You got another advocate, and I'm sorry, Cruzito. I guess I just didn't. I have not actually broken down and looked at this chart kind of like the way that Jules just did. This is eye-opening to me. That's right. Engineering says the chart is amazing. Cookie Monster says this is truly awesome, Jules. And this demonstrates not only the amazingness that is artifacts, but a couple of shortfallings here. I'm not going to necessarily call this thing a massive big fail. I'm going to keep Jules in the back of my mind when I go in to talk about this. But there does need to be a little bit of a strategy refinement on how they're selling some of these new ones, especially the ones that don't use remnants. I don't think any of us, none of us have expected that artifacts don't use remnants. Artifacts have been using remnants since the beginning. And there's two different remnant mechanics. You've got the temporal remnants, and then you've got like the normal remnant shards. But all of these have been using, as a matter of fact, we came out and publicly praised it as being the best overflow mechanic in the game. Period. Hands down. It was the best overflow mechanic in the game. So what are we going to do about it? Remove it. What?
Well, they didn't want people maxing an artifact for $100. So then they changed it so you can't do that.
It's no different than any other research. That's what I love about artifacts, is that it is research that doesn't cost materials, doesn't cost latinum, doesn't cost speed ups, doesn't cost resources, but it's another very, very effective research tree mechanic with a fair timeline, a fair grinder's path, and a fair overflow mechanic. This has never been wildly player beneficial. It's never, look at what people spent on the early artifacts. I'm case in point. What I spent on Borg Queen's Remains because I felt value in these artifacts. I still do. But why change it to make it less valuable or more vague or less player beneficial without being vocal about it? This is subterfuge. And I feel like it's not exactly an accident, and I'm disappointed in that. I am in this camp. I am sorry, VIP. I did not realize that this is exactly what it was. Nigel, I'm with you, buddy. You and me, tag team. I'm in. Okay, I'm in. I was not wrong about Borg Queen's Remains, Magoo. It was great in the beginning, but I'm a little bit disappointed. A little bit.
Well, on that note, speaking of disappointment, let's talk about G5.
Actually, I got to tell you, we got to take a break before we do that. But I do have a funny story about ship parts. About G5 ship parts that I'm going to tell you when we kick up the next break. And for those of you in the Discord, or if you're watching in Twitch and you want to come into the Discord and raise your hand, we are going to be opening the stage as we talk a little bit about G5, the barrier, the entry points, and get a little bit of information as we prepare for our Thursday guide. I know that Tarpey, Daystros, and Jules all have a couple of questions, and I have an observation just from earlier today about G5 ship parts. We're going to do that on the other side of the break. Tarpey, do you have something that you want to do now?
No, it's
or
okay.
Can it wait? On
It's
the other
okay.
Okay.
All
right.
Wait, it's fine.
All right. On the other side of the break, we are going to dive into our final preparations for the preparation for entry into G5. What does that mean? What's on your checklist? And what are some of the pain points you guys are experiencing now? We're going to find out. Raise your hands. Welcome to the stage. It is a Talking Trek Community Roundtable on the other side of this break. My name is UltimatDJz. This is Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. Hang on. Commanders, in the vast universe of Star Trek Fleet Command, understanding the rules of engagement is crucial. At PvPTarget.com, our comprehensive guide ensures you navigate battles with honor. Learn the importance of protected cargo and why attacking a ship under its limit is deemed by some as an act of war. Discover which vessels are classified as warships and what ranges of ships you can attack. Find tips on crewing, mining, and the battle triangle, and so much more. Equip yourself with knowledge to engage responsibly. Visit PvPTarget.com and become the commander your alliance deserves. When life takes an unexpected turn, you need someone who will fight for you. At Musgrove Trial Firm, we stand up for Georgians in the courtroom and beyond. From personal injury to wrongful death, we bring experience, compassion, and relentless dedication to every single case. Justice isn't just a goal, it's our mission. Visit musgrovetrialfirm.com and let us fight for what matters most to you. Call Buddy at 678-226-1994. That's 678-226-1994.
This program is made possible in part by a grant from Office Cheapo, the office supply superstore with great bargains straight from Guatemala.
This is the CIA's classified interview with Roland Watkins, who was abducted by UFOs on May 1st. Is that correct, sir?
Well, yes. They beamed up my dog, Winston. I was just holding on to the leash.
I see.
They thought dogs were in charge because humans follow them everywhere and pick up their poop.
Did you correct them?
Oh, yeah. They were shocked to know that beings who spend all day staring at those tiny screens in their hands are in charge. You know, smartphones.
I get it.
Then they went and told their leaders that we spend all day taking pictures of ourselves and fighting over politics online.
And how did he react?
They kept talking. They told him how we make dance in front of our phones for videos, and then we take pictures of our privates and send them to each other.
At which point
he ordered them to prepare for liftoff because there was no intelligent life on this planet.
I see. Excuse me 1 second. Hey, Bob, check out this BuzzFeed list. It's 10 pieces of cheese that look like dolphins.
Am I done?
Yes, yeah, you can go.
Come on, Winston.
Many years since the Yankees let their guys grow a mustache or a beard. Dude in left and dude in right, and center fielder they all got sheared. Must shave your face and then play first base.
But things changed in the big city with a blessing from Steinbrenner. Yeah, baby, you gotta believe they're back with a New York beard. They're back with a New York beard. They're back with a New York beard. Back
with a New York beard. With a New York beard. It's a feeling when you pull me close and my walls fall down like dominoes. It's a feeling when you pull me close and my walls fall down like dominoes.
Welcome back, everybody. Appreciate you guys all being here. What's going on? Thank you. What's going on? This is Talking Trek Live. Yeah, right there. Dominoes by DOD and Hannah Boylan. Welcome in to the show. Appreciate you guys all being here. My name is UltimatDJz. Thank you for being a part of our live studio audience here at Talking Trek. Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. As we get ready to wrap up here in the next few minutes, we've got a couple of things to do. Before we jump into the G5 conversation, Tarpy, we've got a couple of promotional housekeeping items that I've got to do. As a matter of fact, I want to thank somebody for the reminder in chat. And Delisha says, what about the Battle Pass giveaway? I had forgotten about that, Tarpy. And so I just now drew the winners for that because I had forgotten about it. Congratulations to Jondrel, Budget Gunner, Hard to Beat 73, Toby Sybin, and Sheaves. You guys have won a Battle Pass. Nice.
And so that's either the Battle Pass, or the $20 Wave Pass, right?
Yeah, either one. We'll go with either one since it's late in the month. You can go with the $20 Battle Pass. You can go with the $20 Wave Defense Battle Pass. Or if you have those, then you can wait for next month, all right, if that's something you want to do. However, your 24 hours has begun right now. DMs just went out to those winners, and they've got 24 hours to respond to me in DM with your player ID and the prize that you want, and we'll get you on the list. As a matter of fact, I do need to get that list done and turned in, so I am going to do that like this evening. So really, if you guys could get to me much sooner than 24 hours, that would be great. I know Benny Hill, I forgot about it 5 days ago, though, okay? I forgot about it. But I just now remembered, thanks, and Alicia. And we're going to make sure that you guys get your battle passes because I got to get those turned in. We are at our time frame because the battle passes for all the content creators are due out, I believe, by Tuesday. So I've got to get mine turned in. I'm the last one this month. It's not always that way, Tarpy, but this month I was the last one. I've been working a lot. So I've got to get those turned in. Appreciate the 744 people who entered our contest this time. We had 5 battle passes to give away. Further, yes, Daystros, we do have $500 in packs to give away from our Partner Plus promotion in February. And if you would draw your attention to your screen, I have that ready to go. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's ready. I did it. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, we are giving away $500 every single month that we hit our goals over here on Twitch. It's an annual kind of qualification thing that Twitch offers us, and we are giving away $500, $100 packs to each of 5 different players. If you have not actually gotten involved in this contest yet, don't worry. There's still time to get involved in for March. How are we doing in March? Well, Candy White, let's take a look at what we've got going on here so far this month. In March, we have 216 Partner Plus points. However, we are severely lacking in the gifted subs. 216 Partner Plus points, which is great. That means we only need 84 Partner Plus points to continue this month, but we are 257 gifted subs away from hitting the goal this month. So guys, we've got a lot of work to do. We're exactly halfway through March, but we've got some big time work. Oh my God, Lost In getting us started with 10 gifted right here and now. Thank you, Lost In, for dropping 10 gifted subs. Then, hit it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Thank you. Spock also dropping another 10 gifted. Thank you very much. And just like that, 20, 25. There's Worf dropping 5. Thank you guys very much. Yeah, we got a little bit of work to do, okay? So we're up to 67 gifted subs. We need 233 still to go. Thank you. Burton with the 9-month resub, tier 3. That's good for 6 PP points. Nice job. Thank you.
2 weeks.
We got 2 weeks.
Through March.
We got 2 weeks. And by the way, Tarpy, this is a big, big month.
All right, because the stakes are actually higher this month, guys. Not only are we giving away $500 today, that was for the February contest, but we hit in January and we hit in February, which means if we hit in March, we're not giving away $500, Tarby. No.
Yeah. What are we doing?
We're giving away $1,000. Yeah. Yeah, if we hit here this month, in the month of March, we're giving away $1,000 at the end of March. Yeah, the stakes are high. Yeah, DJ's going to drive your house and cook you steaks. All right, so there you go. So we've got a lot of work to do here if we're going to hit it. Thank you guys for kicking off a hype train with all those gifted subs there. Roadrunner dropped 5 gifted. Thank you. Goodness gracious. Lightning Hawk and 707 with 100 kitty bitties. Guru Meditation with a 24-month resub. Thank you for your PP points. Yeah, that's right, Lord of Scaring. You got my attention. That's what we got to do. As a community, if we come in here and we hit the goal, that means that we would have hit the goal for 3 months in a row. And Tarpy, that was always the deal. If we hit 3 months in a row, then we were giving away a total of $2,000. $500 in January, $500 in February, and $1,000 in March if we hit all 3 months worth of the goals. So we've got a little bit of work to do. We have plenty of time in which to do it. And that is what we're pushing for. And once we get done with this, we're done for a year. We don't have to mess with this thing. Twitch makes us do it every single year. It's basically an annual qualification. Once we get done with that, we don't have to do it again for a whole nother year. So it'll be next January before we have to start again. And it's just in time, Tarpy, because starting in the month of April, we are entering into our official Talking Trek Star Trek The Cruise sponsored giveaway, where we are sending you one lucky winner and their guest aboard Adventure of the Seas. Royal Caribbean's ship. That's right. All expenses paid on the boat. That's your room. That's your taxes, your gratuity. All right. You got to travel to get yourself there. But on the ship, we're paying for all of your basic stuff. We got your room covered. We've got your meals covered. We've got your basic drinks covered. What? Huh? What?
Internet?
No, I'm not paying for your internet. You're going to be on vacation. You're on vacation.
If you're putting all expenses covered,
no,
you need that asterisk there, dude.
Okay, fine. We are paying for your admission onto the ship. How's that? Is that better?
Okay. Yeah.
We're paying for your admission.
You will get onto the boat.
You'll get onto the boat, and you'll be able to eat while you're there. Okay. All base
and accommodations. You can have water.
Thank you, Spectre. All base accommodations. Besides, Quake is right. There is no internet on the ship because I took it all when we were streaming.
Jerk.
All right. Yeah, Divine says just hang out at DJ's booth. There's Wi-Fi around my booth. Yeah, that's right, because we sucked up all the internet from the entire ship. All right, we used it. So that's right. And there's a second contest to sleep at the foot of my bed. That's right, Captain Bull. Yeah, so starting in April, we're going to enter into, what is that, a 4-month thing? April, May, June, July. Yeah, so we've got a 4-month contest period where we're going to be giving away a cruise. All right, and we're going to be giving away a lot of cash along the way. So that is happening there as well. So on your screen right now, you do see it's a blank black screen right now, but this is where we are drawing right here for the $500 in packs that, why can't I see where's the... Oh, there it is. Okay. The $500 that we are giving away for the month of March. Okay. Or for the month of February. Do you want to go ahead and do that now? We did the battle passes. Sheaves, Jondrel, Budget Gunner, Hard to Beat, and Toby Simon. You guys won battle passes. Can I just go ahead and give away $500 as well? Can I just go ahead and do that?
Are you asking permission to give us money?
Yeah. Is that okay with you, Tarpy?
Please. Yeah,
you sure?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Please give people money.
Let's do it. 5 winners, $100 each, of which we had, Tarpy, I went down and counted them all. We had 2,215 entries.
I think that's right.
Oh gosh.
Is that right? Yeah. 2,205 entries. And I did the same thing that we do every single month, where I come over here and I counted up all of them so you guys can see how many entries you guys have. All right, I'll scroll down it very quick. Out of those 2,205, we had 494 unique entries. 494 unique players are entered in with a total of 2,200 entries. Your chance to win $500 based on the number of tickets that you've got, and some people had more than others. Look at that. Jado had 160 tickets. Woo! Got good odds. But not as good as Lost In or Logo Bolas, who had 200. But then Pedro's got 34. He could be a winner too. Less talking, more picking, says Tricky. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 5 winners, $100, and we're going to do the draw right now. Congratulations to Baminkus, William Musgrove, Jado, Logo Bolas, and Shady Pines. Congratulations to ya! All right.
So are you contracting a lawyer with number 2 there?
Huh?
Are you contracting a lawyer with number 2 there?
What's wrong with number 2?
Bill Musgrove Trial Firm?
He has an entry too.
No, I'm not complaining.
He's got an entry too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell us.
Definitely rigged. Samo didn't win. How is it rigged if Samo didn't win? Jiminy Christmas. Samo, how many entries did you have in this one? Let's just go and check. Let's go and check and see, because I don't know that many people donated their winnings on this one. Let's see. Major Samo, you didn't have any? My heart hurts. My heart hurts. Major Samo didn't have any tickets. Yikes, yikes, yikes. All right. Yeah, Samo. Yeah, Samo. What? How is that possible? I don't know. We're gonna have to discuss it. All right? We're going to have to discuss it. Yeah. My goodness gracious, Samo isn't subbed to the channel. What's shocking is that she still didn't win. I know. Shady Pines says, wow, I won with only 5 entries, not rigged. Let's see. Shady Pines, let's see how you did. Shady Pines had, oops, I can't spell. Shady Pines had, why is that not? Okay, clear. Let's do Shady Pines. God, I can't spell. Shady Pines, STFC, Shady Pines Ma, and Shady Pines Ma, STFC. You actually had a total of 10, Shady Pines. You had a total of 10. All right, there you go. So, there you go. Got it. Shady Pines had 10 entries. How do you get tickets again? There was a lot of different ways. Tickets came from a Tier 1, Tier 2, or Tier 3 recurring sub on Twitch, an Amazon Prime sub on Twitch, a Patreon membership for the podcast, Discord Nitro, basically anybody who sponsored the channel with their own sub. Gifts do not count for this one. Gifts are, gifters get tickets, but giftees are not receiving tickets on this promotion. So gifters get tickets as well. So let me see if I can find what I've got the total number of points right here. Let's see. Here we go. Master Sweepstakes prize list. Here were the points. Patreon, official Patreon got 2 points. Recognized Patreon got 3 points. Patreon Studio B and higher got 6 points, just like a Tier 3 on Twitch. Twitch Tier 1 is 2 points. Twitch Tier 2 was 3 points. Twitch Tier 3 was 6 points. A Twitch gifter received 2 points per gift. YouTube Gold also got 2 points. A Twitch Prime received 1 point. And Discord Nitro received 3 points. All right. So there you go. Thank you.
Whales get nothing. No, whales get points if they gift subs and with their own subs. So there you go. Dr. Juby says, wait, what are you complaining about, Juby? Did you not have any entries? Let's check Dr. Juby. Did Dr. Juby cheap out on me this month? Dr. Juby, there you are. You had 2 tickets. Congratulations. Twitch Turbo does not count, Omicron. That's correct. Because they don't report that to me. They don't report that to me, so I can't do that. Seth says that I still owe you 10 packs. No, I don't. I have clear video evidence that Samo won that cruise. Mm-hmm.
What?
Seth says
Really?
I owe him 10 packs. Yeah, absolutely. It was lag.
Sure?
It was lag. Hey, what's going on, OG Woody? Thank you for the Prime sub. See, Woody just subbed with Prime, and now he gets a ticket into the March contest. Congratulations. Thank you, Woody. Appreciate that.
Woody, that was a perfectly timed
Absolutely it
so
was.
that DJs could try and change the subject.
I'm not changing any subject, all right? Supporting the channel gets you entered for the contest. We appreciate it. Thank you. I should post a copy of the Excel. No, I can't post a copy of the Excel. I could do a copy of this PP points drawing. I could do this one where it's not editable. How do I do that? Make it so it's not editable, just like viewable. Can I do that?
You share the view link, not the edit link.
All right, I will do that after the show. Okay, I'll do it after the show. What about Fleet Commander Lorca? We'll work on that. Juby says I still owe him a hug. Divine says screenshot it. There's 400 people on it. There's 400. Print as a PDF. That actually might be easier. That actually makes more sense. That way I don't have to put the link out there. That makes more sense.
And then say like the particular number of pages, because it'll just print all the zeros at the end if you.
Oh yeah, because this was the same page that we used for the cruise, and if you guys remember, there was like thousands of people entered in for the cruise. What was it? Here it is. 2,800 entries or something like that. Yeah.
Y'all, do you want me to just annoy him until he posts it later?
I'll do it.
But he can. I know.
It's fine. I'll figure it out. Pong says yes. Annoy me
Pong
until
was
I do
okay
it.
with it.
All right. Thanks, Pong. Appreciate it. All right. There we go. So I've given away all the stuff. There you go. $500 and 5 battle passes. That means we've given away $600 on the show here today. Thank you guys very much for your support of the channel. You guys are incredible. And it means a lot that we can continue to do things like this. I mean, really, truthfully, the fact that we can turn around and give this stuff back to the community is truly incredible. I do want to remind you, as we get ready to wrap up this segment, because I've got to get to the next thing, we do have the redemption milestones right up here at the top, ! Tip, ! Donate. We are less than $1,000 away from me having to do something with the Minnesota Vikings. I'm not super excited about it, but, there is that. If you want to humiliate me with Vikings makeup and fight songs and jerseys and all this other stuff, there is that. We are actually only $930 away from that. $6,500 remain in that total thing. I desperately want to remind you guys that we don't fundraise for ourselves really hardly all throughout the year. This is our one and only 3-month, 90-day campaign on us to raise funds for the studio, equipment, and some of the content preparations and the planning and the travel that we've got planned for you guys this year. Our goal was $7,500 for the year. $7,500. That is what we're asking. We currently are 20% through that goal. And there's some fun stuff in there, Tarpy, including a makeup tutorial. All right. Yes, I will live on camera allow you guys to dictate the application of my makeup. That was on the list.
You just made that worse on yourself.
I know I did. You know,
You made that
TJ,
so much worse.
when I fall into the pool and have to replace my mic, that's what this fund is for. All right, microphones and travel and other things. Actually, Divine, I paid my taxes already. My taxes were going to come out of that, but I did much better planning this year. I did much better planning this year. I only owed like $1,400 in taxes. How about that for me? I did a good job. Ice Wolf, thank you for gifting a sub to Savage Darkness. See, Ice Wolf just got 2 points for gifting a sub. Thank you very much. Does that include waxing? No. It's a makeup application. Okay? Makeup. Jeez. Yeah, no, I did real good. So I've already paid my taxes. I did. Yeah, I'm learning tax planning. Adulting at its finest here. Yeah. So I paid my taxes. But either way, we do have roughly about $6,000 to go. We only have a couple of weeks to do it. I really would ask you guys if you guys can find it. I know everybody else has taxes they're fighting with. The economy's crap right now. But if it's something that you can help us with, if you find enjoyment out of this program, if you find enjoyment out of the content creation that we do, some of the fun videos that we post, listen, even some of the cruise content that we're bringing you guys. You know what I'm uploading in the house right now? A private meeting between Lolita Faccio and Brandon Braga, in which there was probably, Tarpy, 150, 200 people there. It's a very intimate one-on-one interview. We've got the interview in its entirety that is going to be coming to you guys. I'm actually going to upload that this evening. All right. We still have 2 Voyager panels. We've got another panel with Dr. Aaron McDonald, and we've got a Deep Space Nine panel, all of which we're going to be doing. If this is something that you enjoy, if this is content that you like, if you love being connected to the Star Trek universe, or even Star Trek Fleet Command, here being connected to the game content that Jules provides and that Tarpy provides and Daestros and Putz and Karkin and everybody else, and Matters, thank you guys so very much. If you can find it in your hearts to contribute to the show, to allow us to pay the bills, keep the lights on, and continue providing the level of content that we provide to you as the number 2 content creator, then I asked for you.
Upgraded yourself.
I obviously I did. Then I asked for you guys to consider contributing financially. Exclamation point tip, exclamation point donate here in the Twitch. If you're over on YouTube, there's different ways to do it there. Discord, we've got links over in Discord for PayPal, Venmo, and what else? Let's see. There's Venmo, PayPal. What else do we have over in Discord? I don't remember, Tarpy. I think that might be it. Hold on. I'm going to go back and look. Here we go. Yeah, PayPal, Venmo, and then of course the tip jar, where you can even pay with like a debit card. You could do that if that's how you want to do it without using the apps and stuff. You can actually contribute to the show that way. We appreciate it, and we ask you guys to consider contributing financially to the show. Our annual fundraising campaign comes to a close in 15 days, at which time you won't hear me ask about it anymore, because after that we'll be working on other goals and other fun projects and the cruise giveaway, and then before you know it, it's going to be time for the Christmas Angel Fund. All right, so we do ask you guys to do that for me. Do that for us, do that for the content, and do it for yourself if you enjoy the content that we provide you. Thank you so very much. Speaking of content, let's go ahead and get ready to open the stage. All right, because Tarpy, as we get ready to wrap up the show today, you and Jules and Daestros were actually wanting to get a little bit of last minute preparation based and from the actual community. What are the pieces of information that you guys are looking for in final preparation of your big reveal on Thursday of the Ultimate G5 entry guide? Tarpy, what information are you still looking for?
So, pretty much everybody except for Karkin and Putz, who are regularly speaking up here, are G6. And we haven't been G5 for anywhere between 6 months and since about G6 came out. So obviously we haven't started in G5 since even further before that. So what we'd like to know from the community is, what kind of questions do you have if you are looking at going into G5? What questions do you have coming up? And if you're already in G5, how has it already changed since you've been there?
Let me tell you something.
So there's been Oh,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought you were asking a question.
Yeah, you're good.
Funny enough, okay? And I know that we talk about this. The community has talked about ship parts it's been a long thing. And I know that they just this month have finally started to very smallly, very teeny tiny, address the issue with ship parts, with this new ship parts converter in the Section 31 store. But let me tell you something. I went to upgrade my Ritaran today. Now, I did not build a tremendous number of ships in G5, okay? I'll tell you right now, all the G5 ships that I built, and I want to know, as an Ops 66 player, should I still have problems with G5 ship parts? Because my answer to that is hell no. Why should I, as a late G6 player, why should I have a problem with G5 ship parts? So here's what I built. In G5, I built a Corvus. Okay? It's currently tier 5. Tier 5. I'm going to show you. No playing around here. It's a tier 5 Corvus, Tarpy. That's what I built. Okay? Then I came up beyond that, and I built a Sanctus, both of which are Romulan ships. Okay? So I built a Sanctus. Now, I did take the Sanctus to tier 11. All right? Which is fun. I like that ship. It's a great ship. Tier 11 Sanctus. And it looks like I've got plenty of materials to continue going on that. As a matter of fact, if I wanted to go ahead and finish maxing my Sanctus, I couldn't because of rare G5 ship parts. By the way, so I built the Corvus, I built the Sanctus, and then that was it for G5 ships until very recently when I built all 3 of the epics. And mainly I just did that because I was done with G5 materials, right? I was done with G5 materials, so I came back and I started building up on the G5 stuff. I built a Ritaran, which is an interceptor. It competes with parts for the Sanctus, so that's fair. But then I also built a Dideridex and an Enterprise D. Now, one could also say that I have taken my Borg Cube to tier 13, which does take a fair number of ore. Does it actually take battleship parts? I don't know, because I'm maxed out here where I'm at. I don't think it takes battleship parts,
Yes.
right? Oh, it does?
It does.
Yeah. Great. All right, so it uses battleship parts.
I thought it does.
I don't
No.
think it does.
No, it
No.
doesn't. Okay.
Yeah, no parts. So just the materials. So the Borg Cube doesn't count. So I've built 5 G5 ships, a Corvus, a Sanctus, and then here very recently, the Rhodey, the Dideridex, and the Enterprise D. Of which of those 5 ships, only 2 of them use interceptor parts. 2 of them use Explorer parts, but the Corvus I never built to a point where it needed rare parts. I only took it to tier 5. And then a Dideridex, which used rare battleship parts. I am out of rare ship parts for G5. I'm an Op 66. Lexel says,
Because you don't grind.
okay, where do I grind ship parts from?
How do you do the refines for the
Of
ship
course
parts?
I
Do you
do.
do full pulls on all of your Bajoran?
Absolutely, I
faction
do.
pulls?
Absolutely. I go into my Bajoran every single day. All right. I max pull the Majorans. Look, you can see on your screen. They're all pulled. Look, they're all pulled. I pull them all. Okay? I pull them all.
And yeah. Chat, we are mishearing him, by the way. He's asking where he grinds rare parts. We
Yeah.
are saying where he grinds parts, period. He's asking how he gets more rare parts.
How do we get
yeah.
more rare parts? Am I
See,
pulling from the refinery? Of course I am.
Yep. This is exactly the conversation we've been having for G4 parts and G5 parts. You can get them from the eviscerator. You can get them from the refinery. Show us how many parts you have. You could be single pulling. And by the way, you don't even have
I'm
the
not.
prime for that.
No, I don't have the prime for that because I'm free to play. Don't have the prime for that. Pfft, free to play. All right, you want to see my inventory? And by the way, yeah, I pull the Voyager. I got Voyager Mastery. That's all I can do, Shadowed Fox, is Voyager Mastery. I'm doing the Eviscerator too. You want to see those? I'll show you everything because I'm here to tell you,
And the Voyager Mastery is
parts
horrible.
are a problem. They continue to be a problem. The fact that I am Ops 66 and I still don't have enough G5 rare parts to go back and finish out the ships that I built 20 Ops levels ago, it's ridiculous.
I have a question.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
So you maxed all 3 of your epics, right?
No, they're not maxed.
You said no. So
The Daredex
max the Daredex out the gate.
The Daredex and the Enterprise are because they didn't compete for parts. And in fairness, the only reason that the Rhodey is not is because I built the Sanctus up really high. But this is my point. Okay? If as an Ops 66, all of the parts that I have went into one ship for the entire generation, is that enough parts in the economy to fully support that generation? I have a maxed Enterprise D because nothing else that I built used rare Explorer parts. Cool. I have a maxed Daredex because because I went into G5 knowing that parts were a problem and that I couldn't build more than one ship if I wanted to. And proof positive, I built 2 interceptors and neither one of them I can max because of the shortage on parts.
Hey, DJs. I'm just going to jump in here and help Tarpy moderate a little bit. I think there's a lot that's changed in G5, including the priorities of ships. And I think that it's hard for us as G6 players because we did that and now we've moved on. So in order to kind of get some of our better G5 advice and feedback from G5 players, I would like to hear this conversation from a G5 perspective rather than from a collection of G6 panelists.
I get it. Sense. I'm just saying that even as a G6, there's still not enough G5 parts.
I also want to point out that the people who are in G6 who are in the chat saying, I could max multiple G5 epics right now. That is not the point. Hi, baby Jules.
Hi, baby Jules. What's up, baby Jules?
and there is a strategy of using only specialty ships and going straight to max G5 or just to G5 epic ships instead of building any airships before that. All right, I'm gonna go back on mute, but I was just trying to steer us away from having G6 give advice or talk about their problems and try to actually hear from the
or
G5
lack of problems
community.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I still feel like it's a problem. That being said, maybe there is a different strategy. I'm going back to pick up on ships. If Jules is accurate, which I have no doubt that he is, that you guys are not building faction ships, then maybe it's not a problem. I don't know. Are you not building faction ships?
This is exactly what we want to hear because I respect G6 players and where we are and the amount of parts that we now have because we are in places with the ability to do multiple Bajoran pulls and we have the bonus pull from the Emerald Chain in the Bajoran chest, but not all new G4 and G5 players have those yet, nor will they going forward because new servers exist. So we want to hear from G5. So Zek says G5 and struggling with rare parts. Okay.
Check says G5 is not.
This is not about you.
Check says, oh yeah, there it is. Check says I am G5 and struggle with rare parts. I agree. Cruzito says, why is DJ's picking up old ships? Oh, shut it, Cruzito. We all know why people pick up old ships.
For me, I literally needed to max a Corvus last weekend so that I could finish getting Giorgio unlocked. So I legit built and maxed a Corvus. This is not my problem to have a lack of G5 parts. This is why I'm asking G5 and G4 players. I built and maxed a Corvus for points.
Well, and that's why any G6 would come back and do this, to be fair. I think that's why any G6 would come back and do it. And so you're asking why I'm coming back to build ships. First of all, even as an Ops 66,
and we got to get putts in.
My Enterprise and Daredex and Rhodey are still very, very useful. I mean, we showed that on stream the other night. They're very useful compared to the weaker... Listen, the G6 ships are not strong when it comes to combat. All right, my Enterprise is still doing much better than a lot of these. But there's also other reasons that people are going to want to build those. And there's a lot of requirements in the game. Look at solo wave defense. Putz, I'll ask you this, and I know that we heard from chat earlier in a previous show. These solo wave defense targets for G5, they're decently challenging, especially those Orion interceptors. You've got to have decently tiered ships in order to survive those big ships, right? I mean, a tier 5 G5 rare isn't going to do it.
No, absolutely. Way up through wave 4, you can do with G4 ships. Wave 5, you're not going to be successful unless you have a highly tiered G5 ship, probably rares. But I wanted to also say, just to give you some perspective, DJ. November first week of November is when I clicked in to go to 51. As of yesterday, I have Ops 59 in the oven. Okay. So, and I did that without building a single G5 ship. Relied on my protector, my almost max Tribby, which the only reason I'm still waiting on rare G4 parts for that, and my Pylum. The only 2 ships I built in G4 were Pylum and Tribby. And I have my tally, and I've shelved my Borg cube for now. But in that time, I've saved up enough faction credits that as soon as I get to shipyard 60, I can build all 3 of the epics and still have a surplus of 500k faction credits on each.
So you are going through G5 kind of exactly the same way that we were just talking a second ago. You're basically going to have to choose one ship per type. That's all you're going to be able to do. And that is my question. Is that what we should be? Is that the way it should be? I mean, I guess this is not a Scopely economy question, more along the lines of players, given the way that it is right now, what is it? But, I mean, Tarpey, are we actually saying to G5 players, you need to be wary? You need to use specialty ships like Putz is doing to a point where you pretty much get to build one ship per type throughout all of G5. Choose carefully?
Yeah, if you don't have a bottleneck of like, oh my God, I'm waiting on rare ship parts. You know, I learned that in G4, right? Like I waited on ship parts because I put them in other places, right? And so in G5, I was like, well, I'm just going to go and see if I can get to my end goal and get the best G5 ships and not waste parts on anything else.
I mean, that is kind of how I've looked at it. Is I don't want to waste parts. That's why I've said that before about not, and we've all recommended like not taking for example, the G5 uncommon, not taking it beyond tier 5. Like it can be a little bit of a stopgap if you need it. But as Putz points out, even in today's economy, there are other ships that can replace those. The G4 Epics can do it. As Lexel points out in chat, the NSEA Protector at certain tiers gets really, really good. Putz, how are you doing with your Protector? Has this not proven to be one of the best ships in the fleet for you?
My Protector will be T10 in 21 days. It will then probably jump to about 600 or 700 million in power.
That's insane.
And that will be my best ship by far. But depending on how fast I do the Revenant and whatnot, I may be already at G6 or at Ops 60 by then. And now have, my 1 point whatever billion ship, times 3.
Tarpey, as we're pinging the community and seeing some of the chat here, a lot of people agreeing with Putz. Are faction ships a thing of the past?
I really think it depends on the person and it depends on their grinding capability. And I'm just talking how much time can they physically put into the game on a daily or weekly or monthly basis? Because I saw someone mention the parts primes, and those take a fair amount of grinding in an NX01 to be able to keep making progress to those parts and maps parts and mats Dolomites primes. So the it's this is, I think, where my expertise comes in a little bit more, because I'm horrible at math, because I can see how some of these changes affect people differently and try and think about it. So it's the ships, as we move faster and faster through these generations, we have to think about how we recommend ships to people, because I don't think faction ships are as needed as they used to.
On the other hand, Carissa points out, and Putz just alluded to a second ago, faction ships are not blocked by time. Specialty ships are very, very slow to tier. But maybe the faction ships are not blocked by time, Carissa, but they're certainly blocked by materials. And in my case, what we're talking about here is parts. All right. But does depend on it does depend on your style of play. PvP, unfortunately, it's just going to be at an extreme disadvantage if you grind this game. PvE, you can do with the specialty ships, and that's something that we're going to be talking about on Friday. Grudging Sue says in the chat, really all you need to progress throughout G5 is a ship that can kill freebooters and to do your Mirror Universe rep grind. That is literally the bare minimum requirement for progressing through G5 is freebooters and Mirror Universe. Is that what G5 has boiled down to?
Seems to be. So we do have I think he says they say they're Ops 50 willing to come up on the stage. So
hey, Chala! Chala's in my alliance. Chala, to give you a little bit of background on Chala, Chala is a day one player. He's played with me on my server for a full 6 years. As a matter of fact, you guys have heard me. For those of you who may not remember, Chala was in my original alliance, UKA, the Unknown Assassins, and instigated on what Server 15 historians will refer to as the Great Chala War. Chala was an Ops 14 player that parked mining ships on G3 nodes.
You're that guy.
He's that guy. All right. There is nobody who understands camping and the game's grinding mechanics any better than this guy. He was the Eternal 14. He is now an Ops 50, but you were the guy 5 years ago that started a server war on our server by parking envoys on G3 mining nodes.
Yeah, if I could get to it, I sat on it. Most of the time it is because I had the North Star. Lovely ship. That was before the ops restriction.
That's right. If he fits, he sits. You got it. Chala, welcome to the stage. You're an Ops 50, brand new, starting into the G5 realm. What is and listen, you're a well-known planner. In our alliance, you are the strategist. You do plan things. You must have a plan for progressing through G5. What does your game plan look like right now?
Well, first, to lock Klingon at 15 bill.
At Ops 50?
Because I've already got Fed and Romulan locked.
Wow. Okay. So you're going for a 15 bill tri-lock before ever even starting G5. Got it. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm holding off on doing the epic G4 ships. And this way I'm going to skip and go up to the 53 ship. This way I can go ahead and I can run my cube up 3 levels.
So you are going to build a G5 uncommon?
Yes, I build one just so I can at least get the cube built up, ran up. Since it's required, I have to have a G5 at uncommon at 4 to be able to upgrade it.
Let me ask you a question. Do you feel that being that you're now moving into G5, and I would imagine a player in your position, you have done a lot of your research, buildings, you probably build relatively evenly, you're caught up on a lot. Do you not feel that you're going to have a great deal of surplus in G4 parts that actually a G4 Epic could get you more track time than a G5
No.
Uncommon?
No, I'm very, very tight with my rare parts.
Shocking. Okay.
I've got I'm 5 parts away from maxing out my pylon.
That's a good ship to
50?
max. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't do that until like 56 because of rare parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good ship to have
So
max.
do you have? Are you trying to max the ship before you move up, or are you trying to?
Well, yeah,
move up
I'll
before you-
definitely have it maxed before I move up. I'm sitting on 8,600 parts, and I only
So
need like 20. I only need like 12K
for the last tier, or for
total.
the last like
For
couple?
the
Okay.
for the last 5 parts. I already did the big gun on it. So
Okay, because part of it is back when I was going from G3 to G4, so this is 2 years ago. It was, oh, you really need to max your G3 epics before you go to G4. And I went to G4 with no max G3 epics. And
I
so
think mine were maxed.
Okay, so like
And
we've
yes, I'd say multiples because I basically am a ship collector. I have every ship so far.
yeah.
For the record,
Cool.
I never endorsed maxing the G3 epics before going to G4. Ever. I think I said probably tier 7, tier 8. Never endorse having those max because they get easier. And that's kind of the point that I was making earlier, Tarpy. It's supposed to be easier to max the previous generation once you go up a couple of levels. We talk about this with research.
Oh, yeah.
We talk about it with building
Totally.
with efficiencies. You get a couple of efficiencies at the next level, it's easier to come back. I just don't feel that with the G5 ships here. It's certainly not with parts. All right. Cruzito says, DJ, you're overlooking a piece of the core game design from day one. You don't really have a major problem if you choose one faction and build those ships. It becomes an issue of chasing multiple types. Well, that's kind of what I was just saying, Cruzito. If I built the Enterprise D was the only Explorer that I built that needed rare parts. I did build up to tier 5 of a Corvus. Never had a problem. I don't even think it's uncommon parts that we got a lot of problem with. It's rare. The battleship,
Yeah,
that was the only thing I built.
It's mainly the rare parts that's the issue.
So my next question for you, Chala, is, and I don't remember, and I'm sure the chat will start screaming at me. Do you have ops locks on the dolomite particles? Because you have been G4 long enough probably to get through as many levels as are ops locked for you on those dolomite primes.
Let me actually take a look here real quick.
Because that is a huge thing that helped a lot of people when those
I've been
became
having
much
fun
more
with
easily
stacking
grindable.
up
Yeah.
and storing up my dolomites and picking up the researches whenever I get them. One of the things I did was I maxed out the Borg cube cutting beam as much as I could for my current ops.
Yep.
So I'm seeing in the chat a couple of things that people are reminding us of. And again, you're welcome to raise your hand and come up in the chat. We've got about 10 or 12 minutes left in this segment before we get ready to wrap up. But some people in the chat are reminding us, hey, listen, you can't say that you only built a handful of ships, DJ, because you've got Voyager. You sunk a bunch of rare parts into Voyager. Defiant, Monavine. These are all G4 ships that you sunk rare parts into. Maybe this comes back and reinforces the specialty ships kind of being the way to go. We have talked to a number of players who say that the Monavine is an incredible combat ship for them leading up. We're now seeing evidence from the latest stage players in the game that the Eviscerator? No, not the Eviscerator. Vindicator. The Vindicator is really coming into its own at very, very late tiers. All right. Some people are talking about up in late G6 land that the Vindicator is actually becoming very, very strong. And that's why I come back and say, have faction ships moved beyond their usefulness as Scopely continues to sell and design new specialty ships and make them worth something to us. Are the faction ships even worth pursuing anymore?
I mean, if you want to keep your board cube going at anything vaguely near your ops, you at least need to think about that.
But you only need one.
Right. So,
I mean,
Cruzito,
if you're not building
like you were-
multiples, then you can keep up the cube doing exactly what Scopely designed and what Cruzito is suggesting in the chat. Just build one ship.
right. And I feel like that's so. Do we have right? Do we have any other G5 that are currently G5 that are willing to come up on Discord stage? Because Chala's helped a lot. I just want to make sure we get another voice if we can.
Yeah, one of the things that I saw in the comment, somebody saying you can't defeat all 5 of the waves in the solo wave with G4 ships. You were incorrect. Kirkin did it.
Karkin did it. That's right, he did. Nakar points out, hey, I'm Ops 50. And you know what? Maybe these tiers, I didn't realize this. This is an accurate, or this is an eye-opening thing. Nakar says, at Ops 50, I have all 3 G4 rares at tier 9. All 3 G4 epics at tier 9. And none of them have required rare parts. I can do everything I can at my Ops level. Maxing is unnecessary. Tarpy, Jules, your thoughts on that? Do these ships not take rare parts until you start working on tier 10? And if that's the case, that's probably more than sufficient, isn't it?
I mean,
I'll actually agree with that.
Yeah, I would agree with that too, but then you're not really getting into the actual capabilities of like that ship being able to take you beyond its intended generation, right? Like the only reason I'm able to really do what I'm doing is because I had a Pilum at T12 and I had a Tribby at T12, T12, T11. And that helped me. But yeah, you could have stopped at T9 on all of them, but that's also going to eat into either your faction credits or your Latinum, depending on how you're getting the blueprints.
All right. Welcome to the stage from Server 20. Tabby Moza. You guys know Tabby Moza. Thank you, Chala, for your comments. Appreciate that very much. Tabby Moza, you are also an Ops 50. Is that correct? What's your plan moving forward?
So I just recently became Ops 50 about 3 weeks ago. Today is like Christmas. Yesterday and today is like Christmas morning because I'm just went 53.
Oh, nice.
About
new ship?
Yeah, I've had enough. I've had enough BPs for Vorcha, the Corvus, and built 2 Novas yesterday.
Dang. Good job.
So the Novas are tier 4 now. They're out mining currently. Literally, as I am speaking to you, I am hitting Shipyard. Actually, GameStock.
GameStock! Funny you mentioned that about your Nova. That's another thing that we could talk about, Tarpy. How far is far enough on the Nova? That was not something that I felt like it needed to be maxed. Yeah, a couple of tiers. 2 tier 2, tier 3 was really all you needed on the Nova.
Different. It's so different than it used to be. Like, you just need to be able to get to G5 Luke space if your server protects Luke space. And it's so not an issue anymore in the same way that it was when we were doing G5. So I'm sure chat will be, no, you need it. No, you don't.
I mean, I've watched a lot of my alliance mates and people on server 20, struggle their way through G5 while I was just entering, the twilight of G3. So it's so much easier than what I saw other people.
So the mining bonuses where you pull off a node and you get 25% more cargo, that saves you so much time.
Oh, yeah.
And your mining speed matters so much less than it used to.
Yeah.
Because that functionally is equivalent to mining speed. And so, like, the tier and level of your Nova doesn't matter as much, so you don't need to put lat into leveling a Nova. So it's Novas are not as important as they used to be. Meridians aren't as important as they used to be.
I mean, the
Like,
Novas for me are just warp range.
Meridian, I would argue, still is very, very important. Territory research
after
is still good.
After G5, it's once you can use a Nova, it's kind of where the Meridian is about the same speed. So,
Well, we just said don't take the Nova past tier 2, so pick one.
Well, I've already
no, I didn't say not to. You can have a tier 1 Nova. Anyway, so do you have a plan for the rest
for
of G5?
I'm wondering, what did you do with all those excess faction credits? Because I chose to build the Tribby, and my Tribby's like an 11, and I was sitting on so many Fed credits, and it's going to be eons before I can go get the North Cut, that I said, screw it. I now have a tier 9 Enterprise A, and I'm using the store. What's the store to get ship parts? To get the Hegda. Just cause I got nothing else
Voyager?
to spend it on. No.
Are you using Voyager?
Vajoran.
No, it's not one of those stores. It's in the actual Alliance store down at the bottom. It is the away team store.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I've got nothing else.
Oh, you got blueprint stuff parts.
On. Yeah.
Okay.
Blueprints, sorry. I got nothing else to spend this stuff on, so I'm taking 1 hectare a day. Why not? I'll be done with G4 stuff. It's not really going to hurt me on parts for anything else. My Pylum's damn near maxed. Pylum's got like 5 things left to upgrade, and then it's maxed. Board cube is strong. The core.
What's your plan for all of G5? Do you have one?
Well, my plan initially was to get to 53 as fast as possible, so I could build these 2 ships that I got laying around forever. I've literally had enough to do those for 5-6 weeks now. So build the Forcha, build the Corvus, take them up to whatever. Not really gonna dump too much into them. And then based on my rep, I don't have any of the 3 locked at 15 billion yet. My closest right now is the Romulan. It's at 4.5 billion. So work on collecting with my faction. I just did the math today, so it looks like I only need a little bit over 1 million faction credits to fully get the Sanctus, but Sanctus seems the next logical thing for me to get. Klingon is right behind that at 2.7, so as that progresses, I'll probably start spending some of those excess faction credits on the Cube Sumpec, if that's the proper pronunciation. Yeah, Sumpec would be the next one for that. Federation, it's pegged at 1 million or a billion lock right now, unless I change my plan, because I do kind of want a North Cut, so that's a ways off.
North Cut, that's a whole thing, but
I don't know if I do or not, but it's the one that's
you'll get one
right
eventually.
behind. Yeah.
A lot of
You'll get
people
one
in the
eventually.
chat are referring to the Dolomide primes as almost necessary to rely on the scrapping of the ISS Jelly Loop. Is that something that a free-to-play player can safely rely on? I mean, that's a lot of Dolomide particles, not to mention that getting jelly blueprints are not easy. I mean, I still don't have a huge abundance of those. Thank you, Tabby Moser, for your comments. Is the ISS Jelly scrapping loop considered a core staple of G4 progression now for a free-to-play?
Yeah.
Not really G4, but at G5.
G5.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I have built 3 jellyfish, scrap 2. I can build 8 more, and my dolomite on the ship. And my dolomite on the ship parts is I just completed level 9.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Ice Wolf. Hi, lady.
Howdy, ma'am. How are you?
Ice Wolf
Good,
Law
how are
on the
you?
stage. What's going on? Welcome in. Your ops level?
My ops level is a fresh 1 week.
A fresh 1 week. You broke up. Oh, she gone. She turned her phone
Yeah,
sideways. Yeah.
So did Putz.
She gone. Turned the phone sideways. All right, we'll try to get her back here in just a second. And we do only have a couple of minutes to go here. But this is some interesting stuff. And I'm going to encourage you guys all to continue to reach out to Dastros and Tarpy on Discord. RIP to their inboxes as we prepare this final thing for coming up on Thursday. Ice Wolf, we got you back.
Sorry, guys.
There you are.
Yeah, so 56. I went up tops 56 last week during the
Yay.
Giorgio event. Yeah, I know, right.
So tell me about your progression through G5. Has there been anything that has stuck out to you that you wish you had done differently? Anything that is something that you absolutely believe is a core fundamental towards G5 progression? You're in the middle of it. How is it today?
So I noticed that mostly I had to save. Everything all the time. And the Bajoran is a big part of it. And all of the specialty ships now make it extremely easier because with the Revenant, I don't have to worry about mats. So the same things that I was suffering when I went from Ops 50 to 53 on that jump are not the things that I'm suffering now from the 54 to was going to be 57 jump, but I forgot about the stupid ACC building.
Oh, yeah, the rare tech cores. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still a thing.
Still a thing. So, I know, right? So I took, when I made the jump, I went straight to a T7 Sanctus. So I had enough. And thanks to Spock's Club, of course, I had all of that stuff ready. But it is now easier for me to progress on to Op 60 than it is to horizontally integrate and increase my Sanctus or my Vorcha up because of the lack of rare parts. I have plenty of materials. I have plenty of resources. I have plenty of everything. I have no rare parts whatsoever.
Yeah, parts continues to be a thing, and I don't think it's isolated to G5. Parts is an issue everywhere.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
Yeah.
But it is wild when we look at the economies of the games. They have successfully, and I do say this successfully, corrected the economies to where there is one primary bottleneck. And by the way, I'm fine with that. All right, I'm fine with there being one primary source. When they were trying to make it 4 and 5 and 6 different bottlenecks, the economy got so convoluted and so confusing that it was impossible to navigate. The fact that we've got parts is pretty much the singular piece that needs to be improved upon right now. That is the single most important bottleneck. It does make it easier for players to start to plan. So when you're looking at tools like Spock's Club, it becomes super, super important for you to have an idea about what it is. But I do have a question, and you said something that I love because I have felt this way ever since G3, and I hear other opinions on the stage, and I still don't know if I feel like it's an accurate thing. I'm curious on Thursday when Dastros sounds off as well. But I hear a lot of people talking about, even Putz, maxing these ships before you go up. I fundamentally disagree with that. I mean, I know that the economy's different now, but I'm not going to try to max a G6 ship before I go to the next ops level. I just think that is not efficient.
No, I've never done that, Deej. I've always tried to go to a point where it is more than well powered enough to handle all of my PvE needs and maybe occasionally hit someone weak in PvP at my ops level or a little bit up. But I don't go crazy. For example, my Cornar and my Pylon right now are only T10 because again, it's rare parts and they're not going anywhere. But I have no need to max them except for the day I scrap them.
Exactly.
So that's the huge kind of conversation that's in the chat is maxing to scrap and what time frame you want to do that scrapping part, because
Which should always be after the
the
fact. It should never be
well, yeah.
before you progress.
Oh yeah, no, totally agree. But it's also it it's the even if you want to max and scrap G4 ships, the jellyfish loop with the explorers is really the only one that has a really good currently way to do that. So like there's not really a good way to max pylons except to wait and wait and wait to get enough parts to max a pylon. But maxing a jelly, there what you've done videos on it, Rev's done videos on it, other content creators have done videos on it. The percentage or the percent efficiencies keep dropping to be able to do that. So the jellyfish and the explorer loop is so much easier than the other ones in G5 and G4.
Well, and I would agree with that. That's why I ask: has it become a core part of progression? Because even in G3, scrapping 26 level ships was, I mean, just to get the later G3 and the G4 materials, it was absolutely necessary. Had to do it. All right. So
it's less about primes and more about ship parts now. Because in G3, you used to do that to get primes and maybe some amalgam parts. But now it's for ship parts for later ships.
well, good to know that the Dolomite primes for parts continue to be the most important, because I called that from the start.
And,
I
Captain
called
Bull
that
is
one.
right. Yeah, Captain Bull is right. And I put this in a different chat somewhere earlier today. The jellyfish is the only ship that you can scrap that gives 4-star rare parts.
Yeah, none of
So
the other G3
none
ships.
of the G3 epics.
They give uncommon.
Right. So none of the
That's
other.
right.
Yeah. So it doesn't. That's the only one that can feed into itself because it needs those parts, and then it gives more of them after a certain point. So then you use that to feed. It used to have to be an Ent A just because of the number of parts you'd get from the scrap of an Ent A towards an Ent D. But now it's a coronar for people with high ship parts efficiencies. You might not need to max an Ent A, even though the parts return is more efficient. You might not need to do that. So this is why a lot of us are like, okay, I wonder where the G5 ship scrapping is going to come in, because that might also change the conversation later. Because if you think about the G4 epics, it was a long time conversation where you don't need a G4 epic. There's such a waste of parts. There's such a waste of faction credits. There's such a waste period until you want to scrap them. Then they're fantastic.
Yeah.
And
well, and again, that comes
now-
back to coming back and doing that max and scrap loot well beyond where you would be building those the first time, which is where I come back to what Ice Wolf was saying. I think it's dangerous to recommend to a player that they're getting to tier 10, tier 11, or maxing a ship before they progress on. I think halfway through, tier 5, tier 6, tier 7, if it manages, I mean, if you can kill hostiles, and I don't mean one hostile per hull, because that's terrible, but I mean, you also don't need to grind infinitum. All right? You don't need to get 100 hostiles on one hull. You need to be able to do 20 to 25. That's it. That's what you've got to be able to do. Those are the capabilities that you need to have in order to progress onward. And then in doing so, you're going to unlock extra researches, extra efficiencies that are going to come back and make that stuff cheaper. I think it's a balance. I think it's crazy to recommend a max of a ship before progressing on. I know some people do it.
Well, I
But
don't
it doesn't
think
have
anybody's
to be
saying
done.
that you need to max it before you move on. It's that maxing a lot of these G4 ships needs to be on your radar as you're looking at G5, because you want to eventually max your G5 epics.
But
Eventually,
well
not necessarily in G5.
Yeah, well
but-
into G5, I think. Ice Wolf, thank you for your comments. Appreciate that. Last one, Cruzito, you're a whale, okay? You're a level 70, so I'm not sure that Tarpy is going to consider your comments admissible here. But I would like to hear, you're going to get the final word. As an analytical mind and a designer yourself, these economies are something that you and I have spent many hours talking about. You study them from a mathematical standpoint. Where are you lying here on entry to G5?
So I think, one of the things that I did when I went through G5, and by the way, I didn't start spending until my later G5 timeframe. So I was still playing free to play ish. But one of the things that I recognized early on was the fact that if I was going to progress quickly, it was going to have to be to pick one faction and go with it. Because each ship, right? So an uncommon will give you the next ship as you're grinding. You get that rares ship parts, and then when you're starting to work on that rares parts, it's giving you the epics ship parts. And so I'm arguing the fact that Scopely has given us a free to play path, relatively simple, especially nowadays, that you get to go down there with one faction and you'll get all three ships and you can tier them up really high and not affect the ship parts of another type. If you choose to now get two interceptors, so an uncommon interceptor and a rare interceptor, and then an epic, now you're going to hit that bottleneck
Yeah.
that you are going to have to pay for, to be quite honest, right? But Scopely is giving us a free to play path all the way through to that epic ship, because each one of those builds upon itself.
I actually agree with that. And I think case in point is what I started the segment with, which is, hey, I primarily built one battleship, and it was not super hard to get to a max level. But on the one faction or the one ship type interceptor where I tried to build two, I'm struggling there. I think that's a very, very strong case in point evidence to your plan. And we've talked about this in the refinery before. Your dailies, for example. Let's just look at what Scopely does provide free to play. You look at your dailies, all right? Just simple dailies, all right? The dailies for Hostile Harbinger, I've already done mine today, but it gives you enough broken ship parts to do one refine a day. Not two, but one refine a day in your ship parts refinery. Anything else is going to have to be ground out, right, Cruzito? But you and I have even talked about this before, that the refinery is half completely automated. If you do your dailies, the refinery is halfway automated. You can get one pull a day out of that refinery, even a double pull technically. But if you want to do the both of the 10-day cycles, you're going to grind more. This is exactly how Scopely built the faction system, and more evidence than ever before, as if we needed any more evidence, that Scopely never intended for us to be multi-faction. This was never a thing. Ultimately, we talk about the Dolomite Primes being one of the worst things that ever happened to this game. And then, cascade damage kind of being a pretty equally bad thing to this game. Now Shred. Multi-faction, I think, was very, very bad for this game in the very beginning. That was a decision that they made that they can never come back from.
Agree. And if you look at your G6 land now, right, to kind of bring it into there a little bit, that's kind of your choice as well, right? If you think G5 is tough trying to do that, in G6 land, you get one shot. You're going to get to pick your faction and go down that path until you get there, unless you're going to spend. But realistically, you're going to go down the path of one faction so that you can get the
Really?
uncommon to the rare to the epic. Unless you spend.
I have not spent, and all of my faction reps are within 10 million or 10 billion of
But
each other.
why? Let me ask that question.
Well, no, your
genuinely.
reps are okay.
Because MU.
Well, but the rep is different. I'm talking about the fact that if you try to go in G6 and build an interceptor at every one, you're going to pretty much never get to max your epic unless you're going to spend some serious money.
Exactly. That was the question. Not about rep.
Faction. Yeah. So faction and ship type are different.
Well, not necessarily.
Agreed,
why do you need to be triple locked at 500 billion if you're not going to build?
Because I'd rather do it once. Because I'd rather do the grind once than 3 times.
But that's my point. Why does it need to be 3 times anyway? Are you going to build all those ships?
No, but why would I not grind in the MU if I could do all 3?
I'm not suggesting that. I'm not arguing grinding in the MU. Okay, I'm saying, why do we fundamentally have that? Like, why do we believe that Trilock is the only way to go?
Because that's what it was in G3 land, where realistically you wanted to have all 3 epics, particularly not for PvE, but so that you could PvP. And that's the difference, right? And I know it's going to sound whalish, but Scopely has designed the game for a very efficient-ish path for PvE. If you're doing PvP, that's where you're unfortunately going to have to spend. I mean, that's just the reality of it. So again, you can chase your epics or multiple ship types or whatever it is, but that's going to then require the spend. And I think the goal that they have always intended was for us to pick a single faction and go down that path.
I mean, we suck at that kind of choosing things because we all have that, well, why not everything mentality.
Oh, agree.
But,
You are.
yeah. But no, I get what you're saying with I this is why I'm getting either a Coast Carry or a Velox so that I can then pick my G6 Epic based on the other type of parts. But I'm not choosing to triple grind because I want to triple grind. I'm choosing to triple grind the way that I am because it's hard to avoid it because the MU is the most efficient place to grind right now.
So, okay, and that's fair. So rep lock is a side effect then of where you're choosing to grind.
Yes.
It's not because we want triple lock. It's just because we want to grind in the best place. Because there is no game benefit to being triple lock with all these because you simply can't afford to build all the ships. All right. Now, if Trilock is the side effect of the best place to grind rep, that's a totally different statement.
Well, that's what I was trying to say. And you guys were like, no. And I'm like, but it's literally just easier to do it there. For me, it is just easier to go to the MU and just grind there for a half hour at a time. And as Dallas Spartan says, you also get more credits the higher your rep is. So if you are, you can't put all of the Sigma trite, you can't put all of the Sigma resources or just anything into the same ship class 3 different times. But it doesn't hurt to grind in the MU is mostly my point.
Yeah, and I would agree with that, Tarpy, where the fact of is like DJ was saying, the side effect is there's no disadvantage to triple locking, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that there's an advantage to triple locking other than, again, if once you get to the top of each of those, if you're in G4 land, well, yeah, you're going to have the credits. And if you're going to hang out there for a little bit, now you could potentially build your other epics, right? But I think if you look at from the uncommon to the rare to the epic, they all build upon each other. And then you can choose, especially with all the specialty ships that are good nowadays, right? For me, I went down the path that I did in G6, and I even did that in G5, where I'm not going to choose a battleship. Why? Because I got my cube. So I'm going to go down the path that doesn't require me to get that battleship necessarily because I have that. And I think that's the play that you can do with these generational ones is look at the specialty ships you have. Somebody brought up the Monavine earlier. You got the Defiant if you really want to, right? All of those things are good that you can potentially skip one, which would then allow you to not have to spend those parts on that faction type, right?
And also remember how fast things are changing. So I saw a comment in here on similar to that, where look at how quickly G5 has changed since I went to G5 February 29th of last year. So that's why I remember it because it was February 29th, right? So I left G5 8 months later, and G5 is now accelerated even faster than that. So this is where a lot of the triple rep grind can also come in, where the information that we give people now may not be the same recommendations that we give people in 3 to 6 months. So triple rep grinding also makes more sense because you might want a different type of ship in 3 to 6 months than is currently the meta because of whatever crazy PvP they come out with in the meantime.
Well, that's fair. And as we get ready to wrap this thing up, there is the point of duality in game design as well. I see this in the chat. Cruzito, it might have been the original intention of having the 3 ships of a single faction, but then features such as solo wave defense and solo armadas have fundamentally changed that. You can't behave that way anymore. You have to have multiple ships in order to engage in some of the game's features. So it's almost as though the game is slightly bipolar in that design as well, because you've got some designers that are building it for single faction. You've got other designers that are building stuff for multi-ship, and maybe only having one ship per faction or one ship per tier is not even possible in some regards, or therefore maybe it's being supplemented by specialty ships. All this and more. We're going to cut the conversation right here. Thank you to all of our contributors today. Thank you, Cruzito, Ice Wolf, Chala. Thank you guys very much. And tune in this Thursday. It's going to be very, very interesting to hear what the final dissection is. Daystros and Tarpy gathering up all the data, as well as consulting with Jules Verne. And this
It's
coming
going to be so fun.
Thursday.
This is going to be so crazy.
Yeah, this coming Thursday will be the big reveal on what is broadly accepted by this community anyway as the best practices of the entry of G5. That doesn't necessarily mean like everything in this game, that we don't always say that this is not going to be a concrete guide. And it is going to vary by player, but these are some of the best practices and some of the general guidelines that you're going to have as you enter into G5, and just kind of seeing if you might be ready to dip your toe in the water. It's not going to be a 1, 2, 3 checklist that is good for 100% of players. It's also going to vary by play style. Are you a PvPer? Do you like PvE? Do you mine? Do you grind? Do you focus on collecting it all? Do you focus on the efficiency of having one ship? There are clearly multiple ways to play this crazy, expansive game that is much more complicated than it used to be, which is going to make this guide very, very important as a consulting style of guide, but not necessarily the Bible. We're going to reveal that to you this coming Thursday. Quake says, it doesn't matter, DJ. I need it all, and I need it now. I understand completely. Guys, that is going to wrap up our show today. Thank you very much to everybody who contributed. Thank you to Jules Verne and baby Jules for being as cute and adorable as ever. Tarpy, thank you very much. Putz, Matters, Cruzito, and all others. Appreciate your guys' contributions. Coming up this Thursday, we'll have a lot more stuff to present to you on the entry of G5. In the meantime, our broadcast schedule for this week remains unchanged. A quick reminder, tomorrow we are going to see the return of arenas and public squads. That is not changing. We will not be broadcasting with you guys tomorrow night as we are returning back to our traditional broadcast schedule, which will be on Tuesday. We will do a Twitch-only stream in which I have seen TJ beg, plead, scratch, yell, demand that I max out officers. That could be something that comes on Tuesday. We'll just kind of sit back and play and have a little bit of fun there. And coming up on Thursday, the G5 entry guide. And later on next week, as we get ready to wrap up this arc, we're going to be preparing to enter into our down week and talking about some of the leaks and stuff that are coming up after that. In the meantime, on our YouTube, more content from Star Trek The Cruise, panels, inside access, and conversations with the Star Trek universe stars, cast, and writers of the series and property that we all know and love. My name is UltimatDJz, inviting you to visit our website at TalkingTrekSTFC.com. That's TalkingTrekSTFC.com, where you can find links over to our YouTube, our Patreon store, and our merch store, where Candy White is hard at work making fun stuff for you guys to adorn and support the channel with. We appreciate all of that there, and remind you to check out the Patreon site, where maybe you guys would like to experience a little bit of what we're doing with our secondary channel over at Studio B. It's UltimatDJz Plays over here on Twitch. So you can check that out and get some of that playback by joining certain Patreon levels. We appreciate all of you guys there and the support that you give to the channel. I believe that's about it. Yeah, Dr. Juby, DJ's Plays. That's it. It is early enough in the evening. Maybe we'll hang out a little bit later and do a little bit of Fortnite later on this evening. But in the meantime, thank you guys also very much for being a beloved part of the Litterbox community. My name is UltimatDJz. For all of us here at Talking Trek, and for Griffin, who sends his love and his wishes for you all to obtain your own cans of Welch's Grape Ghost Energy Drink. We appreciate all of you guys supporting all of us like you always do. Talking Trek is a registered trademark and recorded in front of a live studio audience for distribution across podcast platforms everywhere. I am indeed your friendly neighborhood cat person, UltimatDJz. Saying meow for now. Love you, man. Catch you on the next one, everybody. Good night. Pieces. Bye.